Hey guys, let me bring myself nice and center. There we go. Look at that. I'm a little small again, but how's it going, guys? Zimzilla back at it again once again. We are live, and we've got a few people in the house already. Hello, Godzillant 67.2.0 early. Joe Smo. How's it going? How's it going? Minecraft world, no problem. But good evening, my emperor. And yes, this is probably gonna be a solo stream. I may open it up to the floor at the end, just to clear things out. Obviously, it's a late night stream along with the second stream I'll be doing. So yeah, we'll probably have it be a solo stream just because you know how it is. The real world, work, jobs, all of that fun stuff, getting the bread. But if you are super generous, super chats are a big help because the more support I get on the channel, the more time I am able to dedicate to it. Atomic Convoy, what's up? What's up? The bumper with the dinosaurs and dope music is cool. So I know you had asked me on a different video, a short, what the music is. So yeah, that is Evolution from Turok, Turok Evolution. And for anyone who's familiar, it's the 1925's Lost World that I did some tinting of the colors too, just to go along with the green aesthetic that we all love here. We got Davik in the stream as well. You know, like I think probably I'm gonna go through this video pretty quickly. It's a short video, so yeah, if anyone's got thoughts on it, you're more than willing to join because I'll probably open it up really quickly. I might try to come on whenever it isn't. I think you mean whenever it is a stream where it's not solo. Yeah, definitely. But because I always like having people on, but it's one of those cases where like you are just so tired from everything where it's like I love giving guys content, and if people have noticed, I've moved up the amount of uploads from just Tuesdays and Thursdays to now Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Wednesdays is the new part there as well. So yeah, and obviously that means more time for me. I need to edit out things, but I do have a lot of people working in the back that I'm super happy with, who are doing a lot of work for me. And can Zim go through a solo video quickly? We shall see. Hey, I can usually go through them pretty quickly. Plus, this video, there isn't a whole lot bad with it. It's just I feel like there's a lot of context missing, I guess. We also need more indie kaiju movies. That is correct. That is very much correct. Just gave The Wolfman 2010 a watch night. Still holds up. I do need to rewatch that. But yeah, so what I will be doing at least just for the next couple minutes is I will be doing I'm just gonna shade the screen as I tend to do, a little streamception for just a split second, just to do some the typical, you know, just play a little gigabash before we get into the stream proper. So if anyone does have a question, I will be able to respond to it as best I can. But gotta go in with Zogra. I mean the Rawa. Actually, I can do better. I can do better than that. And we'll do it as a random. And I wanted to add the music, but I thought maybe it wouldn't be a good idea just so that like there isn't too much going on in the background as I work on this stream here. But again, if anyone has a question, feel free to ask. Just going through probably just a few more minutes, as it were, and probably go through 2 matches, and then we'll start the video proper. One thing actually I think is not important, but at least relevant is I've had a few people talk about doing kaiju reviews again. I haven't done any in the longest time, and if anything, I think that like those are definitely some of the videos that really got my channel going, especially because I pride myself on the indie kaiju space. So I definitely want to get back into the spirit of making those. Hey Zim, how's it going? A good movie to watch is Primitive War. And that's become my favorite movie 2025. You should suggest to try it out. Yeah, like I want to try it out, definitely. I I am very upset by the fact I never got to see Primitive War because I love the book and I was working my other job the night Primitive War was screening at like the movie theaters that I would have gone to see it. So because of that, I was unfortunately unable to see it in the flesh. But I do want to see it sometime. I think it's digital in some places, and if people can remind me of where it is digitally, and if I have that platform or service, I will definitely try to watch it there. Give it a rewatch. It's pretty fun. Yeah, no, like it's definitely a fun film. I think a lot of people take issue with the fact that the designs are very Jurassic Park ripped off or inspired. Like the T-Rex especially feels like a mix of the JP T-Rex and the V-Rex from Kong 2005. And if anyone who knows me knows me, I am not a fan of the V-Rex. I've grown to dislike its design more as I've grown up, mostly because I feel like it just doesn't do a whole lot for me. It feels like it's I think the only reason why people don't give that design too much grief is because it's from King Kong 2005, but it has all the hallmark like quote unquote awesome bro design elements to it, and you miss out on just a actually retro looking dinosaur design. And I'd just rather just, if you're gonna commit to the bit, commit to the bit. Ooh, hey, look at this! I'm stuck. No. I've never seen that happen before. That's so cool that we actually got to show off a little bug there on the stream. And I think that also my complaint also with the V-Rex, it really applies to like all of the dinosaurs, especially like the Brontosaurus, where it has more modern-esque sensibilities with its proportions, how it's postured, but that it has like the quote-unquote bad anachronism / colorations of a retro dinosaur that people would think of. So that's not really that good. The Venanosauruses, I also don't really like those either. I'm just very ambivalent about the, and I just missed that entirely. Wow. I don't really like the Skull Island designs. But I guess relating that back to Primitive War, I don't mind it because I never really particularly liked a lot of the Primitive War designs. Like the T-Rex, for example, having like these huge coating of feathers was mostly, I feel like it was done because at the time the modern consensus was that T-Rex would have had like these kinds of feathers attached to it, but that ended up not really panning out too well for them. And it feels like a weird product of its time. And since I never really liked how they did those designs with T-Rex, even because it wasn't really, I guess, all that scientifically founded, I was like, okay, whatever. I could go with or without it. I don't think he's gonna say anything too bad. It's just like I don't really think this film's thesis has much in the way of actual things to say for the community as a whole. And I guess that makes sense too, because it's not someone from the kaiju community making this. It's like a small little channel like that. Wow. Oh, okay. I've seen this before. I just never seen this used on me. Okay. Nope. Is this gonna be my end? Jeez. This is wow. That was a long. That's a long ultimate. Or maybe it's the same. I've never had that ultimate used against me. I'm trying to learn Gigan too. I like his moveset, and I think Lau had said this once we were in the server, but it's very much they very much capture what Gigan's personality is. Plus, just the details of his design are really good. Same thing with like Godzilla, Kiryu, Destroya, Hedora. I'd say like out of all of these designs, I'd probably say Gigan's is the best, followed by Destroya, Kiryu, Godzilla, and King Ghidorah, and then Hedorah. All three of those they're good, but I feel like there's just a tad bit more detail in Gigan's model and Destroya's, and then Kiryu's, and then the other three are good, but just not. They don't hit it like the other designs do. But let's stop sharing, and we can get on to the video as I inevitably fumble around like a moron. There we go. And real quick before we start this, was good, Brandine? Was good. And again, if anyone is interested, always support Skull Ghidorah. If you like any good, well-designed kaiju art stuff, like if you want custom figures, really great guy to go to. My brother hates it when they put feathers on any T-Rex in movies or shows. Good, because he's based. I Primordial Spino more than Rebirth. I'm not a huge Spino person at all, so there's that. The Deinonychus, you like that? I like it too. The problem with them is that they are very much closer to like the Raptors, and I also really like Retro Deinonychus, so that's probably my pet peeve. And Joe, my friend, say something. Oh, let's see. I cannot watch. Lol. They should have used Millennium Gigan for nope. Showa Gigan is best Gigan. But we've said enough. We set our pieces, and now we've got 13 people in here. One on Twitch, and the rest on YouTube, poor old Facebook. So let's share. Now looks good. Yeah, that's better. I prefer that. And we'll do YouTubers on half speed because it's a 10-minute video.
Frankenstein's monster, King Kong, White Monster. Okay, maybe not that last one, but still.
So already this video is doing better than most. I'll say that at least. Hello, Moose Truffle. You are new. A good kaiju is Megalon and a bad kaiju is not Megalon. Megalon is pretty good.
Think about what those monsters represented. After all good film and TV monsters represent a primal part of our little monkey brains. You know, the part of our brain that is still scared of the dark, even though we know there's nothing there. That part of our brain that's in charge of basic survival. That part of our brain that looks at a random hole in the wall and goes, hey, what would happen if I put my... Okay.
Oh, wow.
You get my point.
We got
my favorite quote about monsters in film comes from one who goes, hey,
let me go to the back right there. We'll slow it down at least to 1.25 speed because he says something interesting here to begin with.
Represent a primal part of our... Think about what those monsters represented. After all good film and TV monsters represent a primal part of our little monkey brains. You know, the part of our brain that is still scared of the dark, even though we know there's...
So at least the thesis that we already see, at least at the beginning here, is that good monsters represent a primal part of our brain, which makes sense because in a lot of ways, every monster is supposed to represent something, and I think what he's trying to say is that like good monsters represent a certain particular fear in our minds, and that's what makes them good because they therefore represent that fear.
There's nothing there. That part of our brain that's in charge of basic survival. That part of our brain...
Why are his nails wearing blackface? I don't know. You'd have to ask his nails.
And that looks at a random hole in the wall and goes, hey, what would happen if I put my... Okay, you get my point. My favorite quote about monsters in film comes from one of the goats of monster movies, Guillermo del Toro.
Monsters in movies are us. Always us, one way or another. Monsters are us, the dangerous parts of us.
This leads me to the big question of the video. What makes a good movie monster? Disclaimer, all of this is my personal opinion, but if you disagree, well, you're wrong. Sorry. Moved on. Just kidding. Kind of, a little bit. All monsters aren't...
I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with saying it, but the preferencing of this is all just my opinion is something that needs to be eradicated from the YouTube essay space. I think I say this too from time to time, that whenever you're dealing with anyone's opinion. Yes, of course, it is always going to be your opinion. A nerd, says Sup Monster Nerds. He was digging in the backyard before he filmed this. And there it is. My thing is, I've already made a monster that transcends the idea of terrifying. Want me to list the ingredients? You are more than welcome to. I assume this is at Acid 87, injected with G cells, compound V, and Voltron DNA, which then face hugged into a spinomorph, and lastly latched on by, I think you mean onto, by the Carnage symbiote and gassed up by Joker laughing gas. He was almost based. So close.
Created equal, right? That would be insane. That'd be like putting Alien in the same category as Sharknado. So to answer this question, let's take a look at and goof on some terrible movie monsters and compare them with some awesome movie monsters. Now, be warned, one of these movie monsters is a pretty controversial take, so you're going to want to stick around for that. All right, let's kick things off with... Creativity is the hallmark of a great monster. No one cares for another Dracula with a red cape and a goofy accent. To me, no monster is as creatively void than Sharktopus. Okay, we are setting the bar super low with this one. Now, hear me out. I know that Sharktopus is a cult classic, but I don't think it's a cult classic because of how good the monster is. Well, I mean, not only is the movie ass, I mean, so ass that it's kind of good, but the movie monster design is complete ass. I mean, look at this. Not only is the CGI complete dookie, but the design is not harmonious at all. They literally stuck a shark's head onto an octopus's body. I mean...
So, to stop him right there, I think what's interesting is that he states that, like, the design isn't harmonious. And like he said, he was so close to being based. So very close. The problem with his assessment there is that monsters do not need to necessarily be harmonious in how they look, because ultimately that makes a lot of monsters not good designs. Like, let me stop sharing that there and we can move over to another window here, because for example, I typed it as Luska because I know that maybe this might be because of Sharktopus itself that these designs became more common with the idea of the Luska. But from what I always understood, the idea was that the Luska, due to how it behaves, was a mixture of a shark and an octopus. And then I think in 2010 was when Sharktopus came out. More people started using the idea of a shark mixed with an octopus together. And the film Sharktopus is like, he says that the film's like considered like a classic essentially, but then says it's not because of the monster. And essentially just calling the design bankrupt, when in reality, like, there is so many cases of just like looking up art of the Luska or even a Sharktopus that you see that there is something that draws people to the idea of mixing two extremely dangerous and unique sea creatures, a shark and an octopus. So being harmonious does not in any way, shape, or form make a design good or bad. Man, bear, pig, greater than Sharktopus. Yeah, the classic Chimera. Like, that's actually, let's look at the idea of the Chimera, or just Chimera. Like, chimeras are not like, there's no real good symmetry. If anything, outside of the fact that like the heads of both the snake and the goat are perfectly in the middle of the body, the lack of symmetry or even cohesion is very off. Like, the point of monsters like this is to be unharmonious. Or let's look at another one. Centaurs technically or centaurs are actually similar to a Sharktopus in that sense. You have a man mixed in with a horse, and the same thing could really revolve around anything that's like man plus something. So like fawns, satyrs, minotaurs, werewolves, depending on what type of werewolf you're looking at. Minecraft in the chat said Abzu, which I don't think that's the Abzu people are thinking of. I think probably mythology. But yeah, there we go. There you go. Yeah. Or even dragons too. Like, even though like now we've seen creatures that look like dragons in or at least more plausible dragons in paleontology, dragons as well are chimeric creatures. Quick. I think overall what he's saying is that the elements of the shark and the elements of the octopus don't cohere with each other in the movie. I haven't seen it, but I wouldn't know. Yeah, but the thing is that like he doesn't really explain in too much detail what it means for those to not be like don't cohere to each other, because the point is they're supposed to be a mesh of the two. And once again, going back to the chimera itself, those don't cohere to each other. Like, let's go back. Like in this depiction here, you have lion body. If no one was to tell you otherwise, you'd assume it's just like the lion's tail, but snake, and then just goat's head. So I don't buy into the idea that maybe he's trying to be coherent. For example, saying the film, an example would be the fact that octopi are intelligent. Sharks can smell blood. You could easily do something with that, as well as the ink they can produce. That's true. That is true. But I think too, the problem as well is that he doesn't particularly explain that Sharktopus isn't like a big budget film. It's a sci-fi film. Excuse me. I thought I muted that. But with the sci-fi films, like we can also just look at sci-fi original films and what it is they produce. Really, the allure of these sci-fi original movies isn't a creative application of these monsters and their powers, and oftentimes it is just the spectacle of seeing a certain monster like a wyvern or big snakes or even bigger snakes and bigger alligators. Like the whole appeal of this type of movie, this type of B movie or even C movie is you have a fun monster doing fun, crazy horror, killing people type of things. And there isn't much thought put into the writing, the story, things of that nature, which is a shame because ultimately, as much as I, for example, and I know a lot of us like these films, it does paint the picture that most monster movies are these schlocky B movie type affairs that don't have a good story, when that is the case in a lot of ways. But also I think that there is always room for a good story in any type of medium, whether it's a monster movie or just regular literary high art type of material. I think extra creative steps could be taken to flesh out the design and make the concept more cohesive, but I don't think it's always the case. It must be. Made a coherent chimera, the head of a hamster, legs of a hamster, and body of a hamster. Or what about the head of a hamster, the legs of a guinea pig, and the body? I'm trying to think of something that's like close to all these things as well. Rabbit, I guess. Yeah, let's go with that. Dungeon Meshi has cool depictions of chimera monsters. Yeah, like a lot of monsters in mythology have a chimeric design that isn't cohesive. And at least when you're designing them, you can either really lay into the cohesive elements or make them really just stand out, so it just feels like you slapped one thing together, because that adds to the unnatural elements of them. Isn't that really what he means when he says that the creatures don't cohere? Precisely because the film wouldn't be accounting for how they would if the movie was indeed good. Not necessarily, because he doesn't really talk about the story at all. It's just about the design and whether it's good or not. Because I know in both Sharktopus, its sequel, adhere to like the Jurassic World school of hybridization, where you're taking two different creatures, combining together, and they display traits of its parent species. It's essentially the same as like the Spinoceratops from Camp Cretaceous, that has the overall body of the ceratopsian, that's its donor along with the Spinosaurus tail. Godzilla is a cohesive chimeric design. It is, but I think also that just comes from precedent as well. Like if you had not seen it occur as often, it probably wouldn't come off as cohesive. Not even just chimeras, also lab mutants or not lab mutations or failed experiments. That's also true too. Platypus, the platypus is the real chimera. Well, let's get back to it.
Really? You can do better than that. Come on, guys. Look, don't get me wrong. It's perfectly okay to draw inspiration from the natural world if it is done well. Now, think something like all the various adaptations of classic creatures like werewolves that are, based off wolves. Now, where a Sharktopus fails is that it doesn't bring anything creative to the table. It doesn't bring a creative spin on the animal, or in this case, animals that it's based on. I mean, to reuse the example of the classic werewolf monster, they have a spin on it, right? It's not just a big wolf. It's a human who transforms into a wolf under...
Well, to stop him right there as well, just showing off all the art that I did beforehand, that would show that at least the design has an impact on people to the point that like they view it as an interesting design. And like you said, it's considered a cult classic. And I think people, besides from the so bad it's good crowd, a lot of people like the film just because of the outlandish design that it has. How does a chimera, what even is a chimera and how should it behave? How do the chimera in myth behave? If I remember correctly, the chimera in myth's just like a monster, I think in the maze, although I might be confused. Well, the Minotaur is a chimera as well, but that's more because it like is a combination of two different things rather than the actual chimera itself. Fire breathing monster from ancient Lycia. Yeah. So actually, now I think about it, I'm trying to remember what myth the chimera comes from. What myth the chimera is in. Yeah, everyone knows it originates from Greek myth. Oh. The hero Belpharion riding the winged Pegasus defeated the chimera. Okay, that I remember because of the spearing in the mouth. I know it came from Greek myth, but like the actual story itself. There we go. I need to brush up on my Greek myths.
Under a full moon, and this actually adds so much more complexity and story opportunities to...
Let me go back real quick.
Spin on it, right? It's based on... I mean, to reuse the example of the classic werewolf monster, they have a spin on it, right? It's not just a big wolf. It's a human who transforms into a wolf under a full moon, and this actually adds so much more complexity and story opportunities to the monster. Now we're beginning to see more to this monster, right? All of a sudden it has a personality, a weakness, strengths. Overall, W monster.
Well, again, arguing for the sake of the Sharktopus, you could say the same, like in the hands of someone who actually cares about either the underlying story of it, which is being a hybrid, I think, bioweapon in the film, explaining like what adaptations they gave this creature in order for it to be a useful weapon could make sense, because you can justify your monster's designs by the story that you're putting in this. Like the werewolf is that exact case, or really any monster for that matter. It all comes down to story and execution. Like you can do something well with a Sharktopus. I don't find what we're calling a chimera really convincing. Just saying two animals sounds incredibly reductive. I'm not familiar with the common depictions of chimera, though. Well, like we said, the chimera is a lion with a snake's tail, a goat's head on the back of it, and it breathes fire. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and assume the creature uses all the elements of its combined animals or traits. I don't think it does. Because if I recall correctly, but I haven't watched the film in a bit.
Especially when you put it up against fucking Sharktopus, which is essentially a mindless creature that is an exemplary example of the lazy trope of the experiment gone wrong. Okay, now let's take a break from one of the worst movie monsters I could think of, and let's move on to an absolutely goated movie monster. But before we move on, how are we all doing today? Has everyone taken their morning dookie yet? Subscribed yet?
No?
Well, you know what to do. Anyways, let's talk about my movie monster goat, Godzilla. Now, on the surface, Godzilla seems like a pretty basic, big, bad monster, but there is so much more to it. Godzilla first appeared on screen in 1954 after the fallout of the end of the Second World War. And this was an especially significant time for the Japanese film industry. This was a very important film for the Japanese as they bore a particularly nasty scar from the conflict, being the first and, God willing, only victim of nuclear detonations on a civilian population. After the events of World War II, the Japanese people had to, rebuild, move on, and rationalize the unbelievable carnage left by the atomic bombs. And one of the ways that they processed this grief was through the monster known as Godzilla. Take a look at the film Godzilla -1, for instance. This film is absolutely fantastic. It's a story that has solid character beats and puts this larger-than-life monster in a grounded human world, and I think that's what Godzilla is all about. This film is a simple nuclear allegory that goes against the stereotype of Godzilla movies, and not just that, just kaiju, big bad monster movies in general. It takes them from being about mindless destruction like maybe the American version was.
Oh, there we go. The classic, this Godzilla -1 does what the others don't, mindless action, and then jab at the American Godzilla movies. I really like this dude. No, it's a bad take. It's a super bad, reductive take. I'm sorry. But if we're talking about Sharktopus, what I remember is basically acts like a movie monster that has shark and tentacles, recreates a lot of energy from typical shark and octopus movies. Okay. The connection, essentially the only connection that they're giving is that a werewolf is a better movie monster than a Sharktopus because with Sharktopus, it's a generic science experiment gone wrong, whereas a werewolf isn't just a big wolf, even though there in some cases that is exactly what a werewolf is. Even though like those depictions aren't always actual monster movies themselves, but like werewolves have always changed across mediums. But because there's unique traits to the werewolf, and those traits are cohesive, I guess, in his mind, it is able to have personality. There's more to the story than there is for Sharktopus. Whereas my point is that with Sharktopus, it is a good design because it demonstrates clearly what it's supposed to be, which is a chimeric science experiment. However, the film does nothing with these underlying elements of the creature and does not write a convincing story. The problem is that if we are to make the argument that that is what the American Godzilla movies are, then he must also then say that there are many of the Japanese Godzilla films that fall into a similar trap, but I don't remember him actually ever saying this.
And it truly
Actually, wait real quick. I'd be more surprised if he mentions 84 than Godzilla. No one, as Doctor Who once says, no one remembers Godzilla 84. GMK is right there. Well, this isn't a Godzilla video, it's a monster video, so he can't really flex the Godzilla knowledge there. Godzilla, wait. What he should do is double down on that. No, he probably won't. Godzilla vs. Megalon neglect is baffling. I think he does bring it up. I'm going to be very surprised if he doesn't, but who knows? Because I watched this video when I originally, then I made it, I prepped the stream for it, but I haven't watched it since because I wanted everything to be nice and raw.
Really brings the essence of what Godzilla is all about. It was a way to rationalize, horrific destruction and make a story about, ultimately, about people and how they react to it. There is a lot of reasons to love this kaiju as well. The epic fire laser breath is pretty cool. Its cultural significance and the sheer mass monster status of the thing. However, I think the real reason why Godzilla is just a cut above the rest of the movie monsters, and certainly a lot of the movie monsters that I'm going to talk about today, is because of its cultural icon status and what it represents. Godzilla is a symbol of Japanese pop culture, representing resilience and the ability to overcome adversity. Overall, W monster. You can't go wrong with Godzilla. Alrighty, we've taken a look at a bad movie monster and a good movie monster, but what about a mid movie monster? Now, this is a controversial take, but okay, King Kong is mid. Okay, I said it. All right, you've heard from me, right? I know. But JB, King Kong is the OG Titan. And
oh, there we go. There it is. No, Gamera's not going to be mentioned. I don't think so. Yeah, so King Kong, the big controversial point of this video is that King Kong to him is a very mid monster.
Movies, how can it be mid? After all, he was the inspiration for Godzilla. Well, some people say that. And, I just spent
It's not that some people wait. We'll go back.
After all, he was the inspiration for Godzilla. Well, some people say that.
I mean, it's not that some people say. We know for a fact Ishiro Honda loved King Kong, and Nakajima knew this because he also studied Tsuburaya's copy of King Kong as inspiration. King Kong was getting popular because of re-releases in Japan. So, yeah, no, King Kong was definitely an inspiration for Godzilla.
And, you know, and I just, like, spent the last however long glazing Godzilla. I mean, what gives? Well, if you think about it, that's kind of all it has going for it. Beyond King Kong's, you know, undeniably revolutionary and iconic debut in 1933, it's been pretty rough for the monster, only getting meaningful expansion in the recent, you know, King Kong movies, right? Kong Skull Island, Godzilla vs. Kong, those films. And even then, to me, King Kong doesn't really have the same appeal as it once did. I mean, after all, we've had nearly 100 years of monster movies since then, and in that time we've seen tons of iconic monsters in media. But we've had slasher films, the artistic flair of Del Toro's monsters, the golden age of horror and sci-fi from the 70s and 90s, I mean, come on, and so much more. And all these things considered, the big ape doesn't stand as tall as the Titan ought to be. I mean,
that is true. I'd say that Kong doesn't stand as like tall as he ought to be, but that also has to do with like the legal precedents that came about because of that. Like even during Dino De Laurentiis's King Kong film, there was legal trouble with that. There was issues trying to get a film off the ground for Frankenstein versus King Kong versus Frankenstein. That ends up being King Kong versus Godzilla. But like for both King Kong and Godzilla, like them meeting was a huge thing, and it still is a huge thing culturally. But with especially with the other issues too, when it came to the suits with the Nintendo, it just made King Kong a product and a character that you couldn't use due to those legal problems. And it wasn't until like recently where there is less sort of protection around the use of King Kong, and the closer we get to that day when the 33 film enters the public domain, we'll probably start to see more and more Kong related things, because the public domain is always a messy thing, especially when it comes to characters who have lasted for so long. They will always exist a variant that is out of the public domain, but the original, the like quote unquote original King Kong entering the public domain alongside the novel will probably spark more people to actually make Kong products, because there's less fear that, oh, we'll definitely get sued if we use King Kong in something. But he's the leader of the Funky Bunch. Do you know who else is in the public domain? My mom! Loki would want a sci-fi King Kong story. There's Kong Reborn. It's a I think it's like a thriller paperback. I'm trying to get a copy of it because it's one of the only examples I can think of a book that is a sequel to the public domain novel. And yeah, like the moment I get a copy of it, I'll definitely love to do like a short and then a review on it. King Kong, isn't King Kong itself technically sci? The thing with Kong is that it's sci-fi from the case of, oh yeah, like a giant ape is related to science, therefore it is sci-fi. Like back in the day, adventure fiction used to be kind of its own genre, and that's where King Kong fell into as genre, like adventure fiction rather than science fiction. But nowadays you kind of lump things with fantastical elements either into like sci-fi, speculative fiction, and fantasy, and more grounded things into like thrillers. Like Jurassic Park's a really good example of this, where you have in bookstores, Jurassic Park is very much a sci-fi film, but because Crichton had written other techno thrillers like the Andromeda Strain, Jurassic Park never gets put into the sci-fi section in major bookstores. It is usually put into the thriller section because that is what it was marketed as. It was marketed as a techno thriller, and Kong itself was marketed as a adventure story, but we don't have that as a genre really anymore. So it's like another thing too with like Westerns, where you have stories like Blood Meridian as a story that ends up in the literary fiction category, even though it is a Western story. But then you have the Western category, which is like a smaller category you will see in bookstores because the Western as a genre isn't as popular. But Big Monkey, though. Most complaints I see about King Kong is that it's just big gorilla compared to other complex designs like Godzilla. I think that that's true. King Kong kind of falls into that category, but there's nothing wrong with that. The thing about Kong is that despite the like thematic elements that we overlay to the character, the original conception of Kong was always to be a spectacle, whereas Godzilla was more of a cultural allegory, which is why Godzilla is persisted as much as he has, and along with the fact that Godzilla never had the same legal troubles as Kong did when it came to getting new stuff off the ground or even just the rights to the character. And I think nowadays more people associate Kong with this idea of like uncontrolled nature and things like that, which I have no problem with. But ultimately, I think good monsters don't necessarily need to have allegorical elements to them. Just having a big monster there and the thrill and the story of survival without the artsy fartsy themes to it can still make a good monster.
Don't get me wrong, King Kong is one of the greats, but pretty mid in my opinion. Now, all this is to say that if I were to boil down these three categories to find my favorite monster, right, I think a great movie monster has to have three things. Has to tick these three boxes. Has to tick creativity, style, and meaning. Creativity in the sense of its backstory. Is it just, a reskin of something we've already seen before or something out of nature? And style as well. Is the actual monster cool? Does it look scary? Does it do what it needs to do? And the last thing is, I think, arguably the most important one, which is the meaning of the monster. All my favorite monsters in media all have a meaning outside of itself. Think about the xenomorph from Alien.
I want to go through all of those again because I'm going to apply them to at least my book's monster.
Has to have three things. Has to tick these three boxes. Has to tick creativity, style, and meaning. Creativity in the sense of its backstory. Is it just, a reskin of something we've already seen before or something out of nature? And style as well. Is the actual monster cool? Does it look scary? Does it do what it needs to do? And the last thing is, I think, arguably the most important one, which is the meaning of the monster. All my favorite monsters in media all have a meaning outside of itself. Think about the xenomorph from Alien, what that represents, the great unknown, the thrill of exploring outer space, right? Each monster movie for that matter, is extremely primal. I feel like all the best.
I feel like if you're going to talk about the meaning of a monster and bring up the xenomorph and not bring up probably the most viscerally and well-known like theme to the xenomorph in a like video when you're talking about what makes a good or bad monster, I feel like something is missing. Yes, exactly. I think also because two people used the right word. If I was to use the word, it really says something about like the internet lexicon in the YouTube landscape that people know exactly what word to use when to refer to the grape word. So yeah, me staring into the eyes of horrors beyond my comprehension. I just don't get it. Yep, see, everyone gets it. There you go.
Best movie monsters have some underlying meaning to it and something that they represent deep down. One thing is undeniable. There will always be iconic monsters in film and TV. We're gonna get some good ones and we're gonna get some bad ones and some in between. Probably most of them will fall in between those categories. I'm just letting you know how to spot a great movie monster and a trash one, or at least how I kind of view it. Anyway, guys, I hope you had a bit of fun with this video, and please be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you learned something new, or if you found some enjoyment out of my video. Also, if you think Godzilla is amazing, or if he's trash, let me know in the comments. If you think King Kong is amazing and not as mid as I claim to be, then go for it. Leave the comments to share. If you notice I've missed your favorite monster or anything like that, please do share as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
There we go. And that's that. And it only took 46 minutes to get through a 10-minute video. Let's get people onto the stage. But if you do want to be on the stage, I would recommend joining the Discord server. I will have a link to the Discord server on in just a moment for people who are visiting and new to the channel, which in that case, welcome, welcome. Besides his bad take on King Kong, it was kind of a bland video if you ask me. Yeah, like, that's the thing. It wasn't terrible, like Minecraft World said, but there were a few grievances, yeah. And speaking of Minecraft World, the world of Minecraft now enters the chat. Hello, hello.
Hi, how are you? Well,
I'm still alive, thankfully.
yeah, I have been doing cromulently. By that I mean today was a bit rough, but I have recovered. Thank God.
Yeah, it's been a long couple of days for a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, in October in general is going to be absolutely insane. So,
Oh, there you go.
It's like midterms, I think, are this month or are going to be earlier this month. I think those are next week. I don't know.
I think, yeah, midterms are like 2 weeks from now for me. And we got the Vickles, the Vicks in the house.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey.
I'm still alive.
Yeah. But like,
and we got the sea monsters. My good old sea man.
Hey, yeah, my
Yes.
allergies are starting to kick in, so if I sound a little low key, that's why.
But is sea monster a good monster though?
Well, he is a C grade monster.
It's from a certain point of view. You could say it's mid or just okay.
From a certain point of view, Anakin. You must kill your father, Anakin. Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah. But another video done. It only took me 46 minutes to get through 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It was just
granted. That's kind of it. It was like the difference between this and the something productive one was like you were actively getting heated during the something productive video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think that one was slightly shorter.
Oh yeah, that was the King Kong versus Godzilla video that they did. Oh god, that was horrible.
That one was so bad.
Yeah, it's the one that YouTube cut off.
I remember that. Yeah.
God, that was atrocious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like I would say, like in terms of like what makes the non-monster movie fan channel does a video about monsters. Between this and, for example, Overly Sarcastic Productions kaiju video, I'd say that like this one is I'd say this one is less awful actually. Like I'd say it's not as offensive as Overly Sarcastic's video, but it also says less than theirs. But I think theirs also gets more right.
I'm still a fan of OSP. I don't mind their work, but Jesus, that was a miss. Something Productive had the same problem.
They do a lot of. There's a lot of misses.
Something Productive had the same problem, debatably worse.
No, I think Something Productive was always worse. Yeah.
Yeah, Something Productive. It's like they just didn't give a shit.
That was just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this video that I guess we just went over. It's like there were points where I was going like, like especially mainly during like the closing portion where he's talking about like how the meaning of a monster is like like really important and he values that above the other two aspects, which I in a way I kind of agree with, sort of. But yeah, I mean there's definitely quite a bit of portions throughout that could have honestly just could have used like a lot more elaboration in terms of like why is the Sharktopus design like that bad, really, as far as designs.
Yeah, because like as Zim pointed, sci-fi has done objectively more creative bankrupt designs before.
Yeah, and why is King Kong like so mid? Or as
I would say, time frames aside, like ignoring the time span between them, I would argue as a design, Kong is more like generic than what the Sharktopus is. Sharktopus at least is a hybrid of two animals. Kong is literally just a giant ape.
Yeah.
Right.
And we have John Blackarunian.
I
My eyes are burning.
Don't you mean Juan Blackaruni?
No.
Or Juan Neglaroni?
No, see, I've been whitewashed, you see.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, I've been
Hallelujah.
blessed, you know. I went to white heaven, met white Jesus. He anointed me with white incense, and now I'm white. So
Don't you
yeah.
mean white oils?
where did the white
Can't
stuff
really be anointed
come
in
from?
incense.
Because
Don't shut up. Don't think about it.
Heresy.
Destroy it!
Speaking of
say?
heresy, Space King. Did you guys watch it? Space King 3 came out.
Praise be to Space King.
I've not heard of that.
You haven't heard of Space King?
I have literally never heard of it until now. What the fuck are
my
you
God,
talking about?
You need
That's
to watch
crazy.
it. It's on. You need to watch it immediately. There's like 3 episodes out. Hate Mace Enema is going to become really, really, really important for you if you.
Give me like a
if you watch
spoiler-free pitch. Like, is it akin to any shows that I would
spoiler.
like?
It's not. It has nothing to do with like the actual plot, but just to watch out for the hate. Watch out for the Hate Mace Enema. Just watch out for that.
I would say the best way to describe Space King, it is Warhammer 40k, but it actually is satire.
Hmm.
Do they say this town needs an enema? Is that what? Do they say that?
At last, a female psycho warrior. What are you doing?
Girls.
Oh, loud!
That's my favorite. No, dude, I prefer
Okay,
the
that joke
old.
alone sold me.
No, it's funny. So I'm not going to spoil it. So basically, the intro to episode 3, everyone stops what they're doing to blow up a planet because there's this one heretic psycho warrior / space marine who created the very first female space marine. They stopped their them trying to look for the Emperor of Mankind / Space King in order to destroy the woman. They like all the legions arrived at this one planet to destroy the one planet with a female on it.
The one thing that's actually
wrong with
funny
them?
about a Black too, because of the fact that like people in the 40k fandom always say that, oh yeah, Fabius Bile would be the one to make female space marines. It's kind of telling that the psycho warrior who makes the female psycho warrior is kind of like a Fabius in like aesthetic, but not like going all the way. Like he has the lab coat and everything, and I think his armor is purple too, if I recall, but I may be wrong.
It's like they just discover a planet where that Samus is living on. They're like, we need to kill her. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys?
Well, no, it's not the fact that she's a female warrior. It's the fact that it's a female psycho warrior, and you can't have female psycho warriors.
No girls allowed.
No girls allowed. Exactly.
Yeah, no girls allowed.
Not in my treehouse.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Episode 2 is gonna make you lose your mind, Minecraft World. By the way, it started the whole be positive thing.
Be positive.
And remember, Captain, be
Fucking
positive.
hell. I'm gonna look. Is it on YouTube?
It is on
Yes.
YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, it's by
Okay.
Flash Gets.
Flash
I'll
Gets.
see- One sec.
Dude, I prefer the first intro over the new one because the first one is
Oh,
more visual
this!
storytelling.
Oh, this
Yeah.
I've seen this around. Okay.
Yeah. So I like the first intro more than the second one because the first intro is more focused on visual storytelling, but also the prayer goes really hard. Like, Space King, King of Space, I am your son, so bless me with fortitude. Praise be. I am your soul. No, wait, no. I am your angel, so bless me with purpose. I am your soldier, so bless me with triumph. And then I am your light, so bless me with eternity.
Crank that soldier boy.
Good
It's
lord.
so good. And it's also just basically just overgrown children. That's basically what it is. So when you hear the names, oh, I am your soldier, I am your son, that's just like a parent talking to a kid. Oh, that's my little soldier, that's my little angel, that's my light. That's that kind of thing.
The thing I
Because
like
Space
about
King
it
is
too,
functionally their dad.
it's
I
the
love
fact that like it doesn't tread on the same like comedy topics that every adult cartoon does. Like everything feels like it feels like a love letter to 40k in the best way possible.
I think this is going to be an interesting watch for me as someone who knows little to nothing about 40k.
It will not be a good introduction to like understanding 40k lore,
I know.
but
I know. I'm
is
going to
it
treat
fun.
this as its own thing.
Yeah, you probably should because it's already awesome. Peak fiction already.
Yeah, no,
Peak
it looks. it looks right up my alley.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This looks like, from the way you're describing the humor and from what I'm seeing image-wise and art style-wise, this looks like something I will eat the hell up.
It's very
Yeah.
boyish in nature. It's very like boyish humor type
Is
stuff.
very
yeah.
is very bro humor, but that's good because
Yeah.
it stands out because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Henceforth, the hate mace enema.
And testing inspector said he's gonna head out because he's tired. Good boy. Have a good sleep.
Yeah.
Thank you for
I
coming
thought he
on.
misspelled. Yeah, I thought he
Nighty-night.
misspelled the word bored.
Based.
I was gonna. Oh, you're bored. Oh, okay. I'm sorry that us spurging out is boring you, jerk. Anyway,
Tism
Spurg-
nonsense.
Only a true tism can handle the tism of other tismers.
exactly. You know that meme was like me when I find someone that's just as autistic as I am, and you just like glare at them.
There can only be one.
There can only be one. You're not even spurging correctly.
When you have
All
to
of us.
mug someone more autistic than you, so you hit him with
Yeah.
a hey.
Oh, dude, retard Terry. Oh my god. Oh well, no, Minecraft. Wait till you get to retard Terry. It's hilarious.
Oh no! This is gonna be glorious.
Wait, hold on. There's
Honestly,
a character in
I
Space King
might
called
watch it.
called what?
Yes. Well, yes
I'm
and no,
going
but
to
mostly
drag
yes.
some friends down this rabbit hole with me and go blind.
Link that to me. Link it to me right now. I need this.
I See, I'm DMing you every single episode. I just found it on YouTube. I can't find a coherent playlist.
There you go.
A message from
there.
Hatemonger. The one that goes a message from Hatemonger is I think in between episodes 2 and 3,
It is,
and
yeah.
the whole sweatshop thing is in between episodes 1 and 2.
Mhm.
Got it.
I'm sold by the fact that there's a character named Retard Terry in the show.
That is weird. I am gonna grab my friends. We are gonna sit down and binge this.
last thing before we return to the original topic. Okay, two things. In the sweatshop commercial, there's this one scene where the captain is explaining how they fabricate the merch, and all the aliens are apparently placed in this like prairie where they get to live their final days once they've outlived their usefulness. And there's like this really long pause because you're expecting him to like kill the aliens, and then he moves on, and then he starts talking again. Then and the captain goes like, and just realizes something like, I can't not kill the aliens. So he goes back and kills all the aliens. And the second thing is that in episode 3, everyone has lasers, but like there's Terry invents the gun. So basically, they're all fascinated by how a gun works when they have lasers. Like, you're telling me there's a hammer, and that hammer hits the back of the metal spike, which causes an explosion inside the gun, and that shoots the thing into the alien. And they're so mind blown by the concept of a gun. It's
Oh
I love
god,
it.
I'm gonna see if I can schedule a time tomorrow night and and binge this.
Space
gotta
King with the
remind
boys
myself
is
that.
always a good time.
Yeah,
I gotta remind
there's
myself
always a
to
good time.
watch some of it, just so I can.
I sent you the
experience it.
episode. See, so,
Awesome.
Yeah, not enough people are talking about Space King, so I just wanted to bring it up because I
Yeah,
really
no,
love
this
it. I've been
looks
on a
Praise be
sounds
to Space
hilarious.
King.
This sounds absolutely.
Chestnut is
hilarious.
my favorite character besides Hatemonger.
I like Chestnut. Chestnut, I'd
Yeah.
say, has my favorite armor design out of the 3. Not the 3, the 4.
And just the overall design is very appealing too.
So
The
was
Space
this
King
show like
design-
made? What year was this show made? Just so we're.
I
This
think it
one,
started last year.
either last year or this year.
Oh my god! And they have a character named Retard Terry in it. Oh my.
Well, Flash Kids has always been like hyper offensive, so
I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. If it's good, if it's a good kind of hyper offensive, sign me up.
yeah, no, literally.
Yes.
Yeah. I love the. All right, so back to the whole monster thing.
Yeah.
I actually want to bring up a comment that I mentioned earlier.
Mhm.
which is not the rape fruits, not that one. Cthulhu.
I love how
the-
we tried not to say it, and then Black just says like a true tard.
Jesus, damn it, Black! You're gonna kick him off the platform.
There goes my monetization.
No. See, it's ironic.
Of course, the black man gets me demonetized.
Hey,
It's the crab
I-
mentality all over again.
Oh,
I
no.
meant it ironically. Okay, YouTube, get off his ass.
Don't
But yeah.
get off and out and get out of mine.
Yeah. So overall, this video has been like, I generally agree with some of the stuff that he says, but it's just that he's very vague about it, which is something that I've always
Yeah.
hated. Where somebody just approaches being right, but never really gets there because they're so vague about it.
Or
I
they
mean,
don't
even
want to
the-
like say something that's actually wrong and therefore undermine their own point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it just you could tell. You can always tell whenever somebody prefaces the video with, "It's just my opinion." Like he was, and then he like doubled down and went like, "Oh well, if you disagree, you're wrong." And I was like, "Base," and then he just backed down. I was like, "Damn it!"
No, just kidding.
When you
Yeah.
go from 0 to base to unbased in 0.5 seconds.
It probably would have been better if he just said you're wrong and it just does a wink or something.
No, just like if he didn't say the in my own opinion, if he said in my own opinion after he had said like, well, if you're wrong, too bad, that would have been better. Because then like at least like it could have been a really good humorous point there. Because like obviously him being like, no, you're wrong, obviously. Versus it's in my opinion, you can tell what is and isn't sincere. So I guess that undermines the point. Like it undermines even that joke to a degree, but I still love the joke. It is a good joke.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
no,
the
it's
whole,
not-
in my
it's
opinion,
not-
thing.
It's not bad.
Yeah, sorry, you go ahead.
No,
Yeah, I avoid saying it in my
Just
videos.
stand on business, I guess.
Yeah, just stand on business.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
just- yeah.
that's
That's why I avoid saying it, at least in my videos. I
Yeah.
try not to say it.
It's one
Yeah,
of those
it's a
things
bit-
where it's like it's almost natural to say it because you're so inundated with it in like YouTube essays.
Yeah,
Because
it's
I
like
think there's
blame-
sometimes where I say it, I realize it.
Yeah,
I blame
it's-
Rene Descartes. I blame him. Screw that guy.
I mean, him saying, in my opinion, it's like as if he's like him saying that is like, okay, if I pretty much say this, I wouldn't have to worry about needing to go that much like in depth as to why I think a design is good, a design's bad, why King Kong is mid, or blah blah blah. You know, it's kind of without much detail, which could have really, which even in opinion, you kind of like it'd be not as long as you like make it to where it's like well informed, like it would be like with like enough detail to justify having it, then there you go.
You said like
Yeah, real
15
quick,
times in
Ghost
under
Mo
30
said-
seconds, by the way.
Sorry.
How exactly do I go
yeah,
on?
I'm sorry about that.
So, Sma, I just realized you entered the Discord. If you go up in general, you see a link to StreamYard here, which would allow you to come on.
Oh, his profile picture is that demon the Archangel Michael completely killed.
What's that from?
The boiled one.
It's an ortho edit. Like, I will be there watching, and then the angel Michael shows up and is like, before you approach him, foul creature, know this, I will be watching over you. I never sleep. That one, and then it just cuts to a funk edit. That you seen that one, right? Because I've
No.
seen that one. Oh, okay. Never mind then.
I'm
It's-
gonna
it's-
like what's it called? I just saw. There it is. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll have to go find it.
It's short, but yeah.
Yeah.
So overall, like the video, what he said about Godzilla, you already know what I think about Godzilla. in
The
general.
funny thing is that like I am so surprised that he did not bring up Megalon Dropkick.
I know, right?
A
Yeah, no, I was
non-Godzilla
bracing
YouTuber
for
mentioning
that.
Godzilla and not be bringing up Megalon Dropkick.
I was
Kudos to
bracing
him.
for that because the second you said he didn't mention Gamera, I was bracing. Oh shit, Megalon, and then we just stopped talking about Godzilla, and I was just
Yeah.
oh.
I can't help but think
It was
that
relieving.
I can't
It was
help but
very
him.
relieving.
He just like mentioned like him like when he mentioned like the American Godzilla stuff. He's all like, oh well, but Godzilla versus Megalon is Japanese. It's not American, so I probably shouldn't mention that because otherwise it'll just completely undermine my position. So maybe he was smart enough to not include the dropkick image or something like that from the movie.
Well, what's funny too is the fact that like overall he does not bring up 98 and he doesn't bring up Megalon.
He doesn't really go
No.
into the specifics about the MonsterVerse period. 'cause-
Yeah, it's just
It's
sort of
literally
like
just an offhanded mention.
yeah, I think that
Yeah.
maybe he was trying to appeal to the people who are like, oh, Toho or die, like weird, like early 2000 Toho purist type of vibe.
Mhm.
It's like champagne.
2005. Sorry.
He's
Yeah,
not,
or
he's not
actually,
even the
Combo
worst of
brings up a
it.
good point too. Yeah, not even Flying Goji from Megalon either.
Yeah, no,
Like you're
that
gonna
was
get one of the
weird.
two.
That
It's
was
weird because you
Or-
expect it, but then it doesn't happen, so you're happy it doesn't
I
happen, but
don't
then you're weirded
know.
out because it's
I
like a fair
genuinely
enough.
don't. I
Flying
genuinely don't
Goji.
know if it's because these essays have primed me to expect it every time
Yeah.
somebody brings up Godzilla.
I think
But,
that's
like-
the case. Yeah.
I thought you meant like I thought you were going to say like head versus Hedorah because Godzilla flies in that one.
No, that's what we're
Megalon.
saying is that I'm bringing up Megalon Dropkick or Hedorah flying.
Yeah,
Neither of those
an
being
Astro
brought up
Monster.
Or the Astro Monster dance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, one thing I did want to do, at least by his own metric, was for us to bring up, in at least in Minecraft and Vic's case, bring up our own fan made kaiju to see if they pass his barrier on whether or not they count on the creativity, style, meaning scale.
By the
And-
way, to the guy who did the video, if you are for whatever reason watching this, I would like to see how you rate them.
Oh
Like,
no,
say-
I think it'd be interesting to see. I doubt he'll probably see this, although maybe because I think it's a smaller channel, which
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's punching down, but the video, at least out of the last
Yeah,
4 that
tag
he
him.
did, is
I
his
wouldn't-
second
I
biggest
wouldn't
video.
say punch. Maybe on the surface it'd be perceived as punching down, but like based on our reactions to the video itself,
And it's not
or-
bad. It's just
it
there's just
wouldn't
small
be.
things.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
literally just,
I would say like
it's literally
my
just,
only
like,
issue
you
is
could've
that like
elaborated.
it is exactly like 10 minutes and 1 second. Like it feels so meant for YouTube in terms of like its video.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
Yeah. It's
No
Yeah.
Fragula.
yeah.
Hey,
At
hey,
worst,
Zim.
it's
no,
mid.
it's no who. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, thank
Hey,
God
Zim.
it wasn't a who. Jesus,
Zim.
that would have been a pain.
Hedorah, here's a
Zim.
who.
Yeah. Hey, Zim, him. Hey, read my comment.
Hedorah this, Hedorah that. Head from 2017. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
No,
Bruh.
no.
Isabella Merced, baby.
Uh,
Can you blame me? It's Isabella
Oh.
Merced. Come on.
I can't even be
Come
mad
on.
at
the
that.
powers. I have to restrain myself.
I
She's
can't even be mad at that.
Latina. Man, she's Latina.
Yeah.
Come on.
100 Zimcasts and we barely even tapped the vastness of human stupidity. I'll say this, at least not every Zimcast has been a video response. Because a lot of them were just like interviewing people or just gameplay streams. So I'll say that. And
This
hey,
stream was-
Inspector came back and
was
just watched
alright.
rewatch the Space King pilot. There you go.
Hey,
Good job.
nice.
Praise be to Space King.
Yeah, I'm gonna,
I like the-
binge this tomorrow. Well, probably doing
Yeah.
homework.
I like the soundtrack too.
Mm.
Soundtrack's pretty good. I just wish there was like a more of a main theme. The track for the first intro, I like it better because it's a lot more intense. The second is iconic as a main theme, but like, the first intro's theme was used in episode 1, and I thought it was really good, and I want an extended version of that because it again, it's really good. So
Oops.
yeah.
It's-
Back to Monster. I want to go back to the whole Chimera conversation because I don't remember. I don't know because I know you said you didn't think so, Zim, but I honestly don't know if in other myths the chimeras use their chimeric attributes in their stories. Like, let's say, because you mentioned the traditional chimera, but there are also other iterations of chimeras that have different animals, like the lion and the.
The Manticore, you mean?
Wait, that's not a chimera?
No, the Manticore is a chimeric creature because it's like a lion mixed with a scorpion.
Chimeric is like describing a subcategory.
Chimeric just
of
describes
creatures.
like a creature, yeah.
Chimera
because, like,
A creature that's like multiple.
Yeah, multiple
Yeah.
different animals. So like in terms of mythology, like creatures that are considered chimeras would be like the Minotaur, the chimera itself, obviously, the griffin, the manticore, things like that.
The virus.
Bear
that-
pig.
Chimera is sort of what names the quote unquote genus. It's similar to like how different types of dinosaurs named the kind of genus, like Spinosaurids or Tyrannosaurids.
Or like the virus from Mission Impossible 2.
Or
Yeah.
man, bear, pig.
Typhon would technically be considered a chimera as well, based on like what it's made out of.
Oh,
No,
God.
you laugh,
Kerberos
but like
as well.
you guys laugh, but like the man bear pig is actually, from what I've seen in South Park, like he fights like a bear, thinks, strategizes almost like a man. I still don't know where the pig aspects come from though.
Does
I
he have
think
the
just
face of a
really-
pig?
It's like it looks more like a hog, like a very
Would-
burnt hog.
And boars,
Yeah,
Would he
well,
have hooves?
all hogs
Boars
are
are
pigs, not all
very
pigs are
robust.
hogs.
boars are
Yeah.
very robust and durable creatures, so probably like the physical tanking power of a boar.
Mhm.
Probably, because then I mean you wouldn't call it a man bear boar. That just doesn't sound right.
Yeah, boars and pigs belong to the same family. Hell, like, so it's like it's not too far of a leap. Hell, pigs themselves are known for being robust. And
Or
Yeah,
man
they
bear.
else
really
is
people.
robust.
Or bear man.
Mom. Anyway, yeah, no, I think the if you want to go with a modern chimera, man bear pig is right there, and I'm being super ethereal about it.
Eating cereal with me. No milk.
Being ethereal.
Big cereal, no milk.
Atomic Convoy says Man Bear Pig was boxing Satan, so it makes sense.
He
Yeah.
need to stop
It's funny.
man bear.
Oh, the
pig.
sea bear. Yeah, the sea bear is another one.
That entire scene was literally just a South Park recreation of the final battle of the Incredible Hulk with Hulk and Abomination. Like it's shot for shot the same,
Huh?
except that Satan loses.
Like
I-
oh no, I forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind. Oh well.
Let's
Yeah, I
get
was
into
gonna
like
say I like that
let's
too.
get into the design stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how? Because see, I was talking to a friend of Braden's. Not going to reveal his name, because I don't know if I have permission or not. But he's basically like an animal slash creature design expert. And I've talked about this with Minecraft World in the past as well.
Yeah.
Like how the creature design, how the animals and their behaviors inform the creature's design, which I think is something that I don't see all that commonly, which I mean is unfortunate. But then again, it's not like I watch too many movies that you would consider like B movies, B schlocky movies, like what's the Sharktopus? I don't watch a whole lot of movies like that, but like Sharktopus, I think what the guy was saying in the video, he looks like a Gabriel, so I'm going to call him Gabriel. The guy Gabriel.
I think the one in the sequels is female.
Proof source.
If I'm remembering correctly, it's explicitly female in the sequels.
Explicitly, you mean? Okay, well, I would like proof of
Like
that
explicit,
explicitly.
not that it has female genitalia, but like explicitly stated to be female.
It's not a Freddy.
Oh, you mean there's no
Listen.
proof?
Listen, R34 has you covered if you're interested in that stuff.
Just
No.
remember, total Zilla death.
It's for a friend. Okay,
Load
it's for a
shotgun.
friend. But yeah, I think when he was talking about the Sharktopus, I think he was specifically talking about that iteration. I don't think he was talking about like the concept of a Sharktopus. Because if he was referring to, because again, I haven't seen the movie. If he was referring specifically to how the octopus aspects of the Sharktopus and how the shark aspects of the octopus were, how they cohered. If they didn't, then if that was the point, then I would say that yeah, that would be true. In that sense, although I have to reiterate, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know for sure. But I think that was the point he was getting to.
Hi.
Hey,
Oh, did them finally let me in?
I just saw that more people were in. My bad.
So this is funny. I completely forgot that this stream was going on today, and I thought this was just a like creature design stream, not a. Just a moment. What?
You may not even have one. I need your scraper.
Hello, it's me
Yes, sir.
again.
I don't.
Shalom, shalom.
You don't have it, bro.
Where'd it go?
Shalom.
John Blackaroni. That's
Probably fallen into
Look at
the.
the layout. It looks like it's now a Blackaroonie intervention.
Black intervention, I might say.
No, Rooney.
Actually,
Why
no,
are
it's
you
not a
so
black
vague?
intervention. It's no wait, Minecraft. We know exactly what this is. It's not an intervention. It's just blacked.
Oh, you stole stole the joke before I could tell it.
I
Maybe
know
you
when
are
it's a
black.
good or bad.
Exactly.
Maybe
Okay.
you are black, Zim. Maybe maybe we are all black together.
Maybe the
maybe
blacks
we are.
are the friends we made along the way.
Oh boy, there's a black in all of us.
There's a
who makes us
maybe
strong.
inside. Maybe it's because black is inside each one of us.
I am so tempted to make a Starman parody right now. I don't want to do it though.
There's a black.
There's a black
He's
feeling romantical.
Working on it.
Oh no!
There's a black.
Why is this drink so late though?
Because
What is
it felt
happening?
wrong.
Anyways, who just joined? Sorry, I had to go take care of
Joe
something.
Smo joined and G205 joined as well.
Cool.
One thing we should only do is just take a quote from a Godzilla movie and replace a word with black.
No!
Kid, there are two things you don't know about the Earth. One is black, and the other is Godzilla.
Nah.
That
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyways,
no, what's it called?
for I thought this was just going to be like some kind of creature design stream or something for kaiju. I didn't think, you were actually tackling a video because I never saw one linked.
Zim, it wasn't an earthquake. It wasn't a typhoon. What's really happening is that you're hiding something out there, and it's going to send us back to the Black Age.
Is your black finally over?
Bastard, you will return black to us.
Black rise.
I don't know
No,
where
you
it
gotta
is.
say. No, you gotta
I
say
knew
with like
that
the
my
same.
head wasn't black enough.
You gotta say it. You gotta say it with the same emphasis as
Godzilla does his
Brazilian
dance
guys.
on Godzilla does his dance on Planet X. A black moment.
No.
Anyways,
See,
we need
you gotta do it.
to
Say
get
it.
going before we start
Blackened.
catching the attention of any unsavory members.
This will go through Godzilla like crap through a black.
How about this?
Everyone be quiet.
I feel like dude, Zim, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like we're flying too close to the sun with these jokes. Oh God!
Better.
I just had a no. God, this is a dumbass play on the words. We're blacking too close to the sun.
I feel it deep within. It's just beneath my skin. I must confess, I feel like a black man.
No, you switched two words. You switched two, and now we only one.
Okay, character,
The lens of truth.
creature design.
Creature design. Yeah.
We need Black. The world needs him.
I know when it's a good creature
Okay,
design.
no, seriously, can we please
That's fine.
can we
Yeah,
please
yeah,
start
okay.
can we please start
Okay, no more.
analyzing
No
our
more.
creature
Yeah,
design
guys,
before
that's a
we
lot of
break our
black.
voices?
Okay, I know when it's a good creature design.
No, that's it. That's it. Okay.
Cut it
Okay,
out.
no more.
Cut it out.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose my voice.
Let the
today.
black out of your system, okay?
I got the black out of my system.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I'll go first since I already have mine queued up. So for anyone who does have a kaiju that they want to go and sort of explain at least through this guy's metrics. So for people who join late, the metrics are I'll go back to them: creativity, style, and meaning.
Here's your line, the water.
So I'll start. I'm just using my novellas kaiju rather than Zogre because Zogre would be the easier one. Actually, so in my case, creativity wise, which really instead of just being creative, it's more unique than creativity. Creativity just means unique to him because he says that it has to be something that's not going off of a pre-existing trope. And this is very much going off of a pre-existing trope. I wanted to do a story with a retro dinosaur-like monster. I also very much like the Jurassic World Giganotosaurus and just like early 2000s edgy Giganotosaurus design in general. So that's what I wanted to do for it. Style-wise, if you like that awesome bro-y retro style to it, then it fits kind of the style category that he has going for it. I think it's cool design. A lot of people think it's cool design, so I'm happy with that. As for meaning, I felt that was a self-explanatory thing when it came to what he means by it. Like, is there a thematic depth to my monster? I would say because obviously I'm working on a book for it. The thing is that with this story, it's kind of a mystery at the beginning, not to spoil too much, but the main thing is that were you someone who lived in a world like our own and you're inundated with the ideas of like cryptids, monster movies as a whole, if someone was to tell you, hey, I saw a giant dinosaur monster, no one's gonna believe you. And even if like you had physical evidence to it, like a picture or something like that, people be like, oh, it's AI generated. Oh, you're a really good animator, things like that. And that's not even like the main thematic depth that I had for the character. I think really any monster could stand in for it, but I think to hone in on the specific like story beats I wanted to tell with it, telling a story with a really generic monster, I think fit best because I wanted to tackle a specific cultural issue. I will not say what it is to not spoil everything, but it is very relevant, at least for the time. It's not it's not Trump, so no, my monster's not a stand-in for Trump or the fascismos or anything like that, but it does talk about like a specific culture event that has happened in the past and will be a benchstone for at least a lot of future generations going forward. And similar in a way how Godzilla really spoke to people living in post-war Japan. So too would I want for my monster to do something similar, at least from a writing standpoint, if not from a design standpoint, because I felt the design itself was less important because I always wanted to tell like a retro dinosaur story. I very much rather wanted to focus on what thematically I was doing with the design itself. So yeah, that's my monster. I'd say like to be generous to myself, I only get a 2 out of 3 when it comes to his grading system. So there you go. I don't really, I didn't make a really good monster. I've landed somewhere in the middle, like his video suggested.
Yeah.
Talk about
Convoy
humility.
says, when will the book come out? I'm writing it now. I try to write every single day or at least every weekend when I can. I want to have a first draft out by the end of November, start of December, and I want to get it out either by the end of December or the start of January, maybe around February.
We
And
got
when
Mr.
will the
Home.
movie directed by Adam Wingard come out?
No, Adam Wingard would never touch this.
Okay,
Not on his
question.
list.
Who would you want to direct this?
I don't know. Steven
Zack
Spielberg.
Snyder.
Honestly, I'm not sure who. If I like, it's one of those things. I want to do a short about like projecting like future things onto a monster, or at least like your project and like how that can cause like creep and stuff in your mind. But just to answer it because people are curious, I would want someone. Actually, I'd probably say, what's his name? He did the Northmen.
Robert Eggers.
Robert Eggers. Yeah,
I said it first.
I would love to see
I almost
Eggers
said
do
Matt Reeves.
his. Eggers, actually, no, Matt Reeves or Robert Eggers. Those would be the two I'd want to see direct, or at least adapt this story. Probably Reeves more than Eggers, although I think maybe Eggers because he's done like fantastical movies. So yeah, one of those two.
Oh my god. I'm physically restraining myself from gushing about the Batman because I have been working on when I'm not working on other stuff, I'm working on a video involving the Batman, and I've just like looking over the director's commentary and comparing it to other directors' commentary like GXK.
Is the director's commentary on YouTube?
Yes.
Is the director? Yes.
There's no like video, but there's audio. So
Oh, I know. I
um,
know. I'll probably watch
Yeah,
the movie.
you should do a video on the Batman because it's an excellent movie.
It's
it is
good.
related to the Batman, and the first half of the video, which involves the Batman, is out on my Patreon for those that want to check it out. But you know, like I'm actively just restraining gushing about like the Batman because I don't know if you guys have seen this, but the character work done and the deleted scene involving the Joker. At first, I dismissed it because I really didn't like the Joker in this story, especially the actor. I think.
Oh my god!
Barry,
Have I been muted the whole time?
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Dark Knight is better though.
Shut up. Barry Keoghan, in particular, I don't like that he's the Joker, mainly because he's trying too hard to be like Heath Ledger, and his laugh is not convincing at all. But the actual dialogue there informs so much about the audience, and I think this was like a Kentaro Miura / Berserk kind of situation with the whole idea of evil, where it kind of reveals certain plot beats a bit too quickly, which I believe is why it was deleted. But the actual conversation being had is like really really good if you like ignore the performance, because again, Barry Keoghan is not my first choice as Joker. I don't think he's a good Joker. I like the concept behind him. I just wouldn't cast Barry Keoghan. I think he's just trying too hard to be like Heath Ledger.
I think he does a
but
fair job. You know, like he's not.
He's fine. It's like serviceable. But like, if you were to tell me, is he a Joker that's gonna like outshine other Jokers because of his unique performance? No, he's very much just trying to ape Heath Ledger.
Yeah, but that's precisely the problem. Also the laugh sounds incredibly fake. I would have cast someone like Willem Dafoe.
Yes, Willem Dafoe's the Joker would be fucking awesome.
I think he's he's too much of a shoo-in, in my opinion. And I said it. I think a lot of people, because he did such a good job on Green Goblin, and Green Goblin's like Spider-Man's arch nemesis, immediately they didn't think of Batman because Batman's like next popular superhero or most popular superhero. So as a result, they think, oh, he did Green Goblin well, he should do Joker. They're very similar.
I mean,
I wasn't even thinking of that. I wasn't even thinking of that. Have you seen the clip where he's like talking about the gaps in his teeth and he has Joker makeup on? That's the thing I'm referencing. Like, if you take that as an audition for the Joker, I'd say he like nailed it on its own, because he's not really trying to sound like Green Goblin. He's just talking like himself. So I wouldn't really want him to put on a Green Goblin voice for the Joker. I just want him to talk as he is.
So yeah, like a significantly older Joker compared to a younger Batman. Yeah, that would have been an interesting dynamic actually if they if that were eventually to be.
I also like the Hannibal Lecter allusion as well, because he's almost like Hannibal. He almost treats Batman almost treats him like Hannibal Lecter in a sense. It's just that he's not easily disturbed, but his words come true in the plot into like much of it. I think it's really interesting. I'm sorry, I'm springing out about the Batman. This is a monster stream.
No,
I have the next monster design up here as well. So it's the Vix and his Pocherino.
Yeah. So I guess if let's see, if we're going with the criteria, first one being creativity, I don't know. I mean, I feel like, of course, it's obviously like a Godzilla archetype in terms of kaiju designs. I've always said that to be a little more creative, I went with like the 98 design as an inspiration, because most Godzilla archetypes have the typical, upright stance, whereas this Pocho here is more of a, the traditional, or I mean the modern dinosaur archetype body structure. And then from there, in terms of style, he's a ferocious brawler who is very, I guess, tenacious in his fighting style, in that he'll go for, and ultimately he'll go for a fierce battle above all, and he won't quit. And then let's see, meaning, I guess for Pocho, the meaning behind him and his story is like learning to accept change, and how even though many things will change throughout your life, in a lot of ways it'll remain the same, and learning to accept like I guess that part of your life. So like I guess those are like if I were to boil it down to those three things, that's what Pocho is essentially.
Mm.
Mm.
Like, would you say that's like the meaning behind the monster story or the character story?
Hello?
Smo.
I guess in
Hello.
Oh,
hello,
shit.
welcome back.
It actually works.
There you go. Yeah, you work. You're in.
Good,
You are
good,
here.
good. I tried to use headphones, but the thing doesn't work, so I just decided to use my phone.
Can I just say I appreciate your voice, like your accent?
Oh, I don't. It's not really that strong. It just comes in sometimes.
It's not strong, but like I very much hear it, and I'm like, I like it.
Yeah.
What kind of American are you, boy?
North Carolina,
accent.
but Floridian at the second.
Oh, okay, so you're East Coast like me. Okay.
Yeah.
East Coast. Okay, you are the correct American.
Exactly.
But
What you
yeah,
were saying,
in
Vic?
terms of the meaning, I guess it can imply like I guess it applies to both like what the monster is, the story, and also the characters involved in the story. Because I feel like Pocho, like typically if it weren't for the characters he meets and the story, his origin, he would be just a typical monster. But because of his upbringing and like his origin, he's changed in a lot of ways, but he's also still has that monstrous side to him. So I guess like him as a character also represents that.
Okay.
Might I interject something because I actually have read the Pocho story. Vic, your story reminds me a lot of the Netflix show Kong King of the Apes in premise. Like a lot.
Yeah.
Like if you've seen that show.
I've watched the show and I've read the story. And like I feel like it takes the idea, but it just does it better because it like actually it just feels better written because Pocho's an original character and the story was made for him. Whereas in Kong's case, it doesn't feel like he fits that story well.
Yeah, he's like Kong in name only, mostly.
Essentially,
it's like a
yeah.
reinvention.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we got our own Kino.
I was like, there you go. I stole one from you. You stole one from me. We're even.
I still need to finish it, but like I'm getting very similar vibes, and obviously knowing you, the fact that 98 was a massive inspiration for this, it's like, yeah, no shit, he's gonna go this direction. And it was.
Yeah.
Is Vic's whole thing just going to be repurposing what are generally believed to be the worst takes of popular kaiju and just repurposing them?
Yeah, you already know how he
Pocho's
is.
genuinely good. Like
when you could say that Vic is the kaiju rehabilitator.
Yes, because honestly, that's kind of a cool title.
I would say that the story, it's a story. It functions. He understands story structure. Personally, this is gonna sound harsh, but I wasn't particularly blown away. I mean, it kind of follows the same plot beats you would find of stories of that kind. There's no like big mistakes or anything like that. No continuity errors, no plot holes, no inconsistent characterization, no nothing like that. It's just that the plot is very very straightforward, straight to the point, very simplistic. The kind of story you would make for like a '90s Saturday morning cartoon, like the Godzilla the series, which I am more than sure that is the inspiration as well.
To be fair, the standard for writing quality these days is like so low at this point that anything that a story that's like a 6 out of 10 it would just it's be like, oh, thank God.
Hey guys.
Yeah, well, at that point, like, don't lower your standards along with the other people. Just keep it high, and then just get called just get called smug for it. Just get called.
No, I mean,
smug.
what I'm just saying is like you see like so many like stories that just completely just fall apart like under the most mild of scrutiny. That when something like is actually like functional, even if it's not particularly like anything much to write home about, it's kind of like it's a bit refreshing in a way.
It's funny you mentioned that because like recently I rewatched Iron Man 2 and I was expecting it to be terrible because I was always under the impression that movie was terrible even though I kind of liked it, but like looking over it, like I don't think it's really that bad. Like this could just be low standards, but at the same time the only real problem is Whiplash. Other than that, like I can't think of anything.
Yeah, I mean, like aside from Whiplash being underutilized and like some forced elements to try to lead up to the Avengers, yeah, it's not that bad of a film, quite frankly, especially compared to nowadays when we get the
especially compared to
MCU.
Iron Man 3.
Hey
But Iron
guys,
Man
I have
2,
something to say.
oh
Oh
god,
boy.
he has something to say.
Don't worry, it's nothing that bad. How would you feel if Godzilla was able to talk again? Just asking.
No.
No,
No.
no, no,
Unless it's a
absolutely
comedy
not.
series, no.
He should talk with his fists. And no, actually, no. He should talk with his claws. He should talk with his jaws. He should talk with his actions, not his words.
His tail.
His tail.
His
Hell,
smoldering
Godzilla
hell if you
swagger.
want. Hell if you want. Bring the ears.
the exaggerated swagger of the giant reptile.
No, the exaggerated swagger of a black reptile because he is technically black.
Anyway,
At least in some
wasn't the
iterations.
original suit brown actually?
Brown, red, possibly charcoal gray. So.
Okay.
Okay,
Anyways,
some iterations
yeah.
are black.
Anyways, yeah, Pocho's good. I would probably put him personally in like between Kong and Godzilla tier. He's like
Kongzilla.
between the mid and good design, because like it is really really simple, but it's also incredibly effective.
I like how Pocho, like his horn looks like a mullet because I genuinely thought it was a mullet. I thought it was like a tuft of hair. But
It does
I
add to the
appreciate
personality
all
in
the
that
kind
aspect.
words.
Yeah, no, I love Pocho.
Pocho exists.
We stand Pocho in this house.
Yeah, Pocho's.
Who's we? We're talking French, or you're talking about the Wii U?
Bon
or
mon
who's we?
ami, sacre bleu.
French people when they're talking about memes instead of le magie le humoristique.
Geo5 is back.
When you hit someone with the French New Wave.
French people
About the
jacking off be
themes.
like, I'm going to
Alright,
jack
I'm back.
Zoof.
All right,
That looks
Kuro.
like Shin Godzilla.
Kuro, it's your time to shine, boy. Rise
Kuro.
and shine.
Okay. I'm not able to view my screen right now, but all right then. So obviously, imagine most of y'all already know who this is. This is Trago. I've talked about him before. Now, just for clarification, where, what exactly were his criteria again? Just repeating clarification.
His style, like his criteria were creativity, style, and meaning.
Creativity,
Those are
style. Well, creativity as in design, origin, utilization. What does that mean?
Essentially, it's essentially code for is the design not a retread, and then like afterwards.
So,
Yeah,
a
creativity. Yeah, creativity is whether the design is essentially unique and it's not a retread of a previous idea. Style is whether the design is cool, and then meaning self-explanatory.
well, as far as I guess, so meaning, style, and originality, essentially.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I just like using originality as a metric for quality, but that's neither here nor there. So as far as obviously, whoever said that was correct. This design was heavily based off of Shin Godzilla, despite my numerous grievances with the film. Because one thing that drives my creativity more than anything is spite. If something annoys me enough, I'm gonna do something about it and try to make a broken concept work. I've worked on rewriting GXK. I've worked on thinking about how Shin Godzilla would be good. And I do it with a lot of other things. Trago was the result of me. Trago was the result of me loathing Shin Form 5 so much that I decided to do it, but good.
With blackjack and hookers?
I mean, I guess.
So you're telling me, wait, Kuro, so you're telling me he's made of pure pain and hate?
At the start of the series, he may as well be.
You made him perfect, hate monger. If you
Well,
know that reference.
I don't.
Oh, he's
Okay.
never watched Space King.
Yeah, he hasn't watched Space King.
I saw what looked like a trailer for it. I was like, this don't look like my thing, and moved on with my life.
Ew.
Oh my god, you're
I will
missing
drag
out.
you down the rabbit hole with me. I have not seen it, but I'm gonna watch it.
All right, Minecraft. I'll make you an offer you can't refuse.
He's gonna sell you a horse girl.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna. Oh,
Horse Girl Rule
you
34.
don't know how accurate you are. If I will watch the Owl House with you if you watch Uma Musume.
You don't.
Okay,
I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
know
make you
how-
watch the Owl House because of your personal opinions. I'm not gonna make you do that. You've already been showing me Uma Musume.
Offer him a side Nemesis
right.
copy or something.
You can't offer a choice and then like you can't offer a choice.
I
and then
sure as shit can, Rooney. Watch me. I just
And
did.
then like that wasn't a choice. You're just forcing him to watch, and me, by the way. Everything
Yes.
I know about everything I know about that stupid horse show has been against my will.
Are you talking about
and
BoJack
it will
Horseman?
continue to
Anyways,
be.
back to Trago.
Yes. So, yeah, obviously, his origins are this Godzilla is a direct result of human experimentation. Honestly, I'd love to do the other forms of mutation before he reaches this full stature, because this is like the final form in a way of his mutations, but the others could be described as, if you know what this is, the Delphine is filled with ghoul, and then the Scorpius Rex from Jurassic World Cretaceous, and then go into this. But I only have this one to show.
Kaiju
Now,
Karu.
as far as inspirations, who said that?
Oh, never mind. Continue.
All right. Now, as far as main inspirations, Jin, as mentioned previously, 84 was a big inspiration, mainly for the face. I wanted a shorter snout for this Godzilla. Evolved was a main inspiration for the spines. Ultima was mainly an idea of tail length. Because every time I've been wanting an interpretation of this thing, I always say the tail is too short. Because the tail is disproportionately long to the rest of the body. Even here, it doesn't reach like where I want it to be at. Whose like background noise is that?
I think
might
that's
be me.
yours. No, I think that's yours.
Now, I
No,
don't
because
know.
I'm hearing it.
Kaiju Karu.
What's up?
No, that's definitely yours because I'm checking everyone's mics right now and it's coming out of your mic.
Ah,
Does this
God damn it.
Godzilla have enemies?
A number of them, yes.
Ooh, how many?
A lot.
Are they
I
good
can-
or evil?
This Godzilla starts as a villain, remains neutral for most, and by the end of it is kind of somewhere between late Heisei and mid Showa in terms of a line.
Okay, not bad.
The whole idea is, this is a Godzilla that for kind of goes from -1 to Final Wars in terms of character development. He just at the end is like hating humans, which in a way I paradoxically am, is just not worth the amount of pain it's causing me and the people and the others in my life that I actually care about now, since by the end, this goes into the thematics of this Godzilla. They're kind of described as how no matter what happens in your life, you're still here and you're still yourself. So the best thing that you can keep doing if you're still alive is to just keep going and just get back up, because what else is there to really do?
I'm ready. I'm so excited to see what your versions of Ghidorah, Space Godzilla, and Destroyer would look like if they are in your series.
Destroyer, Ghidorah has numerous different designs. Space, I am doing something very different for. And Destroyer, I don't want to say anything yet.
Okay.
But yeah, Minecraft knows exactly what I'm talking about.
If we ever do
Back
a
in.
crossover pitch stream, I think I know what we're talking about.
Yeah, we
Will
do.
Baggin appear?
No, Baggin is not there. But anyways, so I'm trying to remember what was the other basis that he mentioned that I haven't covered, because I've covered both like originality and meaning.
But you cover creativity, style, and meaning. Like, here's the thing: is that style and creativity kind of blend together.
Yeah, they do. Honestly, that's
So
that's a so it's like it's a very vague line. Like, what makes him?
For me, I think what he's trying to mean is like, what's that phrase? Like, the form has to have a function or something when it comes to creature design. Something like that.
Yeah, it's the thing that we
Or
talked
like,
about with the Sharktopus and Chimera, the fact that like each different aspect of the monster has some level of function to it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Zimzilla.
Me.
I think Sea Monster's trying to say something to you.
See, did you mean to say something?
I just kind of posted in the private chat that I got a bounce for the night.
Oh, what's it called? I think. Oh, okay, it just came up on my end. Anything
he's
you want
gonna
to
bounce
show?
on it.
I will black.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and chill. You can find me at C Monster Essays on YouTube channel. It's I have a new-ish video out on Nosferatu 2024. Y'all can check that out. This coming Saturday, I have a live stream. That I'll be hosting. That'll be in regards to a video relating to Godzilla versus Destroya. That would be Sea Monster Live episode number 54. So
Ooh, I am
kind of
so
fitting
ready
actually
for
when
that
you think about
video.
it. Check out my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Sea Monster KCI, and y'all know what to do. Thanks for having me on, Zim, and thanks. And good night, folks.
All right, bye.
Good night.
He said he was gonna bounce on it tonight.
I'll block you again.
So, design, as Vic, you were saying, form and function.
Yeah,
Well,
like
at least he looks like Baggin.
the thing with with form and function is that when you're designing a creature, it also depends as well on like the situation that you're trying to tell as well. Like there can be a lot of redundancies to your monster if there's a purpose for those redundancies. Like if you're dealing with a creature that is like evolutionarily like motivated, like it's a product of evolution rather than creation or direct creation, then having things like vestigial elements as well. There's no like function to them. Like, that is the point of a vestigial element. So it really depends.
Let's see. So I guess Chago would cover all three bases.
Yeah. No, like I would say that it definitely does, especially like aesthetically, which would be where I go to when it comes to style. I guess like the only thing it really doesn't fit is the first one, which is creativity, because it's a Godzilla design, but then every Godzilla past the original doesn't fit the creativity mold because it's not the original. So I'd say it still fits.
So I think we'd have to judge it by how creative is it by
From other
comparison to
Godzillas.
comparison to
which
other
is
Godzilla
I
designs.
would say it generally is, given both its origins and also build and just anatomy.
Exactly.
Yeah, and since that's not even the final design, you and I still need to work on like getting that final design going.
Can I just say, speaking of a few changes, for the biggest change aside from tail length, which I'm finally starting to get settled on, is a slight change to the ornamentation of the tail. As you can clearly tell, it's like a massive bone on the club, which again is a result of mutation, but I'm altering its arrangement so it looks more like a flail.
Well, what kind of flail?
Actually, I'm still like. I'm sorry?
Well, I just realized you said flail, and I'm like, oh, you can do a lot of things with like different flail designs.
I'm still like trying to narrow that down, but the really funny part was I decided to make this Godzilla have a flail, a quick weapon, And I made this change when I was thinking about his fight with Kong.
Oh, okay, like him using his tail a lot in the fight.
Yes. Hang on. But the joke isn't landing. He's using a whip to fight the giant monkey.
I get it! Yes!
Based.
Guard
You know that image
Yes.
of the
Yes.
girl going wow and thinking base. That's me. That's me right
Not
now.
only that, but the tail is also one of the reasons the tail is meant to be so long is because this tail actually serves as a fifth limb. So it's
like
prehensile.
Oh.
It's prehensile. So he can actually wrap it around and use it to grab onto certain things. I have the idea that he uses it on Kong a lot.
Kinky.
Just shreds the dude's hands.
Yeah.
Also,
But there's
small
actually a lot of
Oh.
one of the things that is unfortunate because of the fact that I can't show off him compared to the rest of the designs is that Godzilla in this series, in like humanity's tragedy, which is what I've called the series as a placeholder name for now, Godzilla is described as an anomaly. He is the only kaiju I have made radioactive. Which, yeah. I don't want to get too much into that, but there is a reason for that, and it is again to just showcase just how different Godzilla is to the rest of the kaiju in the series.
So that means every kaiju is naturally occurring.
Yes, every other kaiju is a result of some form of extreme of a specific specimen of a species that
Will Hedorah
once
also
existed.
be in it?
Ghidorah is another very different case.
Like Hedorah, the small
Hedorah.
monster. Yeah.
He is. I'm admittedly still workshopping him, as the take I did for Biohazards is so definitive in my mind that I'm trying to put some distance between that one and mine. That's the biggest issue with a lot of my projects. I notice that there is a lot of overlap in like ideas.
Well, if I were to make my Godzilla series, I would have the origins of the monsters be faithful for the most part.
I decided to, like, I kept the general premise. Like, the door is still an alien stuff, but I wanted to fuck with it a little. Just change a few things here and there and see what that lets me do. For example, they find where they find Ghidorah and also how they learn about it and just a few other things.
So, like, Hedorah won't be a smog monster in your series.
Again, I don't know. Honestly, given how much I loved it, I might take some inspiration from New Udra in Wild for my take on Hedorah. But anyways, that's enough yapping out of me. I could talk about this stuff for hours.
Wait, so is this like a Godzilla version, or because you called it, was it Trago?
Trago is just what I dubbed this take on Godzilla. It is the Latin word for tragedy.
Wow.
That feels okay. Coming from someone who made a story called God of this World, I find that to be personally a bit on the nose. But
okay. That's the thing. This whole series is about as subtle as a nuclear bomb. I don't do subtlety.
Okay.
For one reason or another.
That may or may not come back and bite you as someone who has had my story completely vivisected for that very reason, but that's a separate story.
We can talk about that later after the stream if you want.
That is fair. I mean, quite literally, the working title for my novella is Kaiju Quarantine, so it should say everything you need to know about what event that I'm referring to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's definite. Leaving a lot up to the imagination there, Sam.
Like it's one thing to be blunt. It's quite another to just, you don't want to be Zack Snyder. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna say you don't want to be.
You
black.
also don't want to be Generabuchi.
That is.
He's
Good
the
Zack
producer
Snyder
of the
fan.
Godzilla Polygon trilogy.
Who else is
Anyways, we have
who
the
else?
Kaiju diversity hire. I mean, yes. I have to go with it. It's the only
Wait,
female
what did you
kaiju.
call her?
The kaiju diversity hire, because it's the only female kaiju that regularly appears on the screen.
There's Mothra, Biollante, and
Yeah,
Megaguirus. They're
I think talking about her creativity, I think this is pretty clear cut. Mammalian,
it's a woman.
kaiju, feline, hybrid chimera with wings, humanoid. Yeah, no, this is kind of like this is kind of explicit when it comes to like how creative and I've said before, my primary design inspiration for Neas was King Caesar. But generally, while designing her, I wanted to take attributes from like menacing but heroic monsters. So King Caesar obviously is menacing, but he's also heroic. Gamera is another. Gamera was kind of the big one for this character. But yeah, and so I think creativity was just kind of like, yeah, no, that's kind of a drop in the park. Style, as in like making use of the design attributes for one way or another. Generally in my head, I'm envisioning Neas to fight sort of as a hybrid between Balzar and Eren Yeager's Attack Titan, with other aspects of Gamera and the female Titan from Attack on Titan. So,
Where's all that clanking coming from?
I think it's from
like
Kuru.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah, you're in a factory full. Yeah, you're in a factory full of. You're in a factory full of clankers.
I'm at work right now. I've joined because I'm bored.
Fair enough.
Wait, you have a job so late at night?
Yeah, night shifts exist. They're a thing. They exist.
Yeah, they exist.
I know. It's just that I never thought that one of you guys had night shifts.
I mean, we are generally, if we have night shifts, like the other just isn't here. I join because I'm like, I'm not letting Minecraft escape me. So there you go.
Mine's technically
honest to God, I was waiting for you. I was waiting for you. We are a package deal.
How sweet. Oh, how sweet.
We have become a package deal, my friend.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, no. Style-wise, like, I wanted her to fight both, like, as a hybrid of Gamera, Balzar, and Eren and Annie's Titans. Fast, somewhat animalistic, but very, very hard hitting. Like, you cannot hit her, but she will hit you. And I think the fact that I gave her wings also adds a bit more interest into the choreography. Because yes, I do imagine her flying at multiple points during the fights, especially during the Chimera and Okeanos fight. And then also for the Rage Form introduction sequence and Typhon.
I have a question. What if someone bites off the wings?
Then he can't fly.
She.
Okay, she can't fly.
No, but she still has literally everything else at her disposal. Fire breath for one. The spear is a core weapon of hers that she gets in the story. Claws, obviously. The tail, the fangs are used for like grappling because like I want her to not just take like quick bites, but like when she bites, she draws blood hard. It hurts.
Dang,
like it,
I would imagine.
It feels like a knife on the shoulder.
Isn't that like most teeth when you get bitten on?
Yeah, but like fangs also have very specific purposes.
Yeah, like biting.
Yeah. Shut up.
I'm being cheeky.
Shut the fuck up. And then also the ears, like in my head, obviously drawing from King Caesar, the feline attributes were kind of like, yeah. So the ears were mainly there to help with expressions. And also like, yeah. So I think style, you have something, there's something there. I don't know if I don't know if it would be perfect. And then meaning, this actually ties into the necklace because I've seen a lot of people ask about this. No, this is not the source of like her going from human form to kaiju form. No, it's a family heirloom, and that's a core part of her character. I think the main theme of the story, well, two of the main themes is like struggling with like one's place in the world and that leading into humanity's worth. Like what is humanity's worth, and do we deserve to be protected? Which, spoiler, the answer is yes. But the fact that the necklace is so heavily entwined with her family being an underworld goddess, someone who is very heavily close to humans on a spiritual and literal level, as well as being someone that's lived with humans for roughly a decade in universe at that point. I think that kind of adds depth to that meaning, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
Furry Aaron Yeager.
So Aaron Yeager's
Haru's
beast.
already Diet Aaron.
Diet.
Yeah, but-
What do you mean diet?
He's talking about
This is like-
Haruo. Anime Godzilla.
Polygon movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would be funny if he transformed into Godzilla. Just to imagine if the universe just you know what, Haru, screw you. I'm gonna turn you into the thing you hate the most, and then that would justify him killing himself.
Wait, no, Blackaroni. I think it would have been cooler if he was an obscure Toho monster like Gaira or Sanda. I think that would have been much cooler.
You know what? Fuck you.
I was kidding.
Godzilla's your Haruo.
I was
No.
kidding.
Haru
was
should have
making-
been Sanda or Gaira. That would have been actually very fun.
I was joking. I was making a joke. I was being a funny.
He was being.
Yeah, but you're black.
funny.
You
The
can't
thing
be
is,
the
that
funny.
actually does sound cool, though.
Uh,
A little
No.
bit, though. A little bit, yeah.
Nah.
A little bit.
Could it work?
We can talk about that another time. Thoughts?
Thoughts? Yeah, Nia just looks like a thought. Yeah.
She's been a thought in my head for 3 years.
Wow, I didn't know you then.
Oh,
I will
she's been
send
a
you to
donkey.
Jesus.
Oh boy.
But to be more serial, I always like the design. I would say out of like all of our monsters here, it's interesting because you go from from how we did it, because actually I can show this image now. So let me bring this up since we have all of the kaiju here, at least the ones we showed. Which I may do this as like another stream type of thing because this is fun.
Yeah.
There
Kind of
we go.
reminds me of Nosferatu Zod.
Yeah, female Nosferatu Zod in a way. Yeah.
I knew that was familiar. It looks like a female version of Nosferatu Zod, but without the horns. So like sexual dimorphism going on there. No horns. Yeah, Nosferatu. I see it. I really see
Yeah,
it.
no, I just looked this up. Yeah, I can see it.
Guys,
Oh my god.
I'm
Yes.
gonna have to go now.
Okay. Have a good one, my man.
I'll see you all later. And one more thing to make you guys all angry. Godzilla vs. Mothra in 1992 is better than Godzilla 2014. Goodbye.
No, but nice try though. I will never fall for. I would never come for the rage bait.
I'm more confused than anything.
It's like, I mean, from a quality perspective, they're kind of interchangeable, but
Yeah. What I was gonna say was going
It's
back
like a
on
very
topic.
random thing to say.
He said
Yeah.
versus Mothra?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 90s
The
one.
92.
If it
It's a
was
very
60,
random
if
thing
it
to
was
say.
64, it would have gutted him.
Yeah. 2 out of 10 rage bait. Yeah.
Yeah, that was very confusing. That was like confused bait, like puzzle bait, hub bait,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
4D bait.
Yeah. Well,
No, but that would imply that he's
Oh
smart.
wait, no, I wouldn't have gutted him over 64. I would have actually agreed with him. 64, Godzilla vs. Mothra 64 is good. Anyways,
Oh, that means something completely different. That means something completely different for you than it does for me. Oh no, we were not thinking the same thing.
my apologies, Rooney. Anyways, you were
No,
saying
he's
that-
black. No apologies.
Hey, so are
What
you?
I was gonna. Hey, I get to say it. I am black. But
Okay.
it is interesting because we went at least in terms of with the four of us, you kind of go on a spectrum because you go from like fairly pretty animalistic with my kaiju with Gorgoth, and then you have Trago and Pocho, which I think Trago's probably a little bit more animalistic than Pocho, or if anything, Pocho's more animalistic than Trago. So you go like Gorgoth, Pocho, Trago, and then Neas, where these two are like on opposite sides of the spectrum, where it's like very animalistic to very, very human and sentience in that sense.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
If we're still talking about monsters, because I had multiple monsters. Well, actually, no, I had like two monsters in particular. One of them was for a story. I didn't draw them, but like one of them was for a story that I actually want to turn into like a big. This is a very ambitious story, so I don't want to reveal any details. Zim, you might be familiar with this, but the AI from Space King 3. So
Yes.
my monster was well, it still is. It was always supposed to be like a giant skeleton, but with horns. So it kind of looks like that. It was going to be a combination of the story was going to be a combination between Attack on Titan and Pacific Rim, sort of. And it's gonna. I was thinking it could be like this really long spanning series, a very extensive series, but because it's such an ambitious project, I don't want to really reveal too much. So all I really have is this Godzilla story that I've been working on recently, which I'm not gonna reveal the name just yet, but I have teased thus far that the story is inspired by the Vietnam War. I started writing it, but basically the design. Again, I don't have a drawing, but if you want to humor me on that, if that's stream related,
Yes, because we did have one fan Goji, so I will allow another.
all right. So this Fangoji is basically just a combination of several types of lizards. Earlier today, I saw a black lizard when I was checking my mail, and I was thinking, maybe I could implement this. Fun fact: there were no Komodo dragons in Vietnam, so I I have it on good authority that I could take a lot more creative inspirations. But the basic foundation of this version of Godzilla is a Komodo dragon. So basically, he's going to be a man eater, which is I know I've said it before to other people, but this Godzilla is supposed to be a man eater, and because he's 45 meters tall, making it one of the smallest versions of Godzilla, I think it would help make the story a lot more personal. I mean, the story is very character focused anyway, but yeah, this version of Godzilla hunts humans and
Real quick,
animals.
I just want to make sure I heard it right. You said he's 45 meters?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to remember that for later because I do have thoughts. But continue on.
Okay. So there are animals that have this. I learned this recently, but there are animals that when they're asserting their territory, they create sounds at a certain frequency that makes the surrounding area sound like a rumble. So the cassowary, for example,
You mean like
there's
infrasound?
Hmm?
You mean like infrasound?
if that's the name, then sure.
It's like where like you actually feel like the weight behind the sound.
Yeah, if that's the word for it, then yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. Cassowaries, for example, they have this very deep rumble sound. Whales have a heartbeat that can be heard from I think 2 miles underwater, and crocodiles also have a similar territorial rumble to the cassowary that makes the water around them vibrate. And so I was thinking, well, how will I implement these into Godzilla? Well, his heartbeat can be heard even from above water from several miles away. And he doesn't have an atomic breath per se. He has an atomic venom. You know how with Komodo dragons, their venom has an anticoagulant that prevents blood from it prevents wounds from coagulating. So blood just keeps flowing and flowing and flowing. So in this case, the venom is supposed to mutate. Um, it's supposed to mutate the flesh like the muscles, but it's going to slowly make the creatures being bitten on like bleed out slowly, even though like they're mutating over time. And the I wanted to alter the behavior slightly because I wanted to make sure that the venom was purely for defensive purposes. Because, like, let's say there's an animal that is like being a little bit too feisty and is going to be a bit of a threat to Godzilla in this case. He's probably going to want to use the venom, but if he uses the venom, then he can't eat the animal at that point because the blood is kind of necessary because the blood has certain proteins in it that Godzilla would need. So like if he bites down on a creature, he cannot use the venom. And if he wants to use the venom, so it kind of raises the stakes for Godzilla because at that point he has to pick and choose. Okay, is this thing worth eating, or should I just like avoid eating it altogether because it's causing me too much trouble?
Makes it more strategic.
Exactly. And then over time, he's supposed to grow because I'm going to use the napalm fire bombings of Vietnam to help it mutate. At first, it's not going to be black. It's going to be like a typical Komodo dragon gray or Komodo dragon greenish. And then the napalm fire bombings are going to make it black. And that's where he gets his atomic breath. But it's still radioactive. But think of Godzillasaurus. The story is basically just Godzilla if he was just Godzillasaurus, but he's still mutated here. So the napalm in this case would be like a further mutation. Like it would be a combination of both the chemicals of the napalm and the radiation as well, making it grow and grow. It'll like absorb the chemicals of the napalm. It'll mutate, and that's where he develops the atomic breath, which is more of a vomit than anything. It's more of a vomit, and I'm gonna have it actually burn him as he uses it, so like he has to use it sparingly. It's the similar nerf that was used in Godzilla Minus One, where Godzilla can't use his atomic breath too frequently because it physically hurts him when he uses it. Which I thought was like a genius nerf because it raises the stakes and makes Godzilla a lot more intelligent because at that point okay, so he's not going to use his atomic breath here because he's trying to maximize the amount of damage he can put out. And so that's basically what I'm doing with Godzilla. As for the theme, I haven't figured out how this fits into the theme yet because again, this is mostly a character focused story. Godzilla's just in the backdrop because it's inspired by Full Metal Jacket and Apocalypse Now. If you've seen the movie Apocalypse Now, they get to this guy who's supposed to be like branded for death by the U.S. military because he had apparently gone insane. But he doesn't own, but he like took over this group of indigenous Vietnamese people who kind of worship him like a god, and he kind of indoctrinated this other American guy who also worships him like a god. So he's basically the Seaverse to this guy's Nosferatu. I forgot the name of the guy from Apocalypse Now. The guy that he's supposed.
Kurtz.
Is that his name? You've seen Apocalypse Now?
Oh yeah, God, yeah.
Yeah, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
Fun fact: Martin Sheen plays the main character, and Martin Sheen, you will probably remember him as Uncle Ben from The Amazing Spider-Man, which when I first watched the movie, I didn't realize because he looks so different.
Yeah, plus he's also in Shadow for most of it too.
Yeah. So
one thing I just want to say before I forget my thought is that the napalm bombings that make him get to like 45 meters in height, or does he get bigger than that?
He gets bigger. Yeah, from the
Okay.
napalm he gets bigger.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, that clears up a lot. I was about to say something that Saverio Vinci brought up. No fire, only venom, boring. Like, yeah, the fact that I was initially thinking you were going to ditch the atomic breath entirely, which to me is not like a bad idea because that is a core part of Godzilla. As Godzilla, that is one of his recognizable traits. But like, I think translating that into a vomit, maybe that's not what I would have done with this kind of concept. Instead, personally, if I may, I would have done something similar to like the spitting cobra, where he spits like a higher concentrated and more flammable, dare I say, radioactive version of his venom from his fangs. It's not poisonous; it's acidic. And
Yeah, I'd
fire.
say like
you know
I think
something else
making
you
his
could
tongue.
do is you could make the venom if you did that flammable.
I would say like making his venom behave more like a natural weapon you see in nature, but have the properties of napalm. I would say would work better for the
Yeah.
story. One thing I want to say too is that you said that like he begins at 45 meters. So I was doing like a size chart for my own monster, and when you mentioned that he's hunting humans, if you want to have him hunting humans, like
Yeah, you
I'd
gotta make
probably
him
say
small if you
yeah,
wanted to do that.
yeah, because one big part of my monster is the fact that it does actively hunt humans, and it's only like 22 meters at like the top of its head. The horn makes him a little bigger. I would say that if you want something hunting humans at a reasonable size, 30 meters makes a whole lot of sense because like 30, 35 is where you get like Baragon
If he's
level
like
for height.
if he's meant to be like small, if he's meant to be get bigger, then like I say like make him like around the size of like a large theropod, and then like to make it work better because
Yeah.
like
If you
you can also lean into like a horror aspect of it too if you wanna if that's meant to
Yeah,
be
that's
like
what I would
yeah.
honestly
No, I
say
think that like
It is meant to be
this
horror as
Godzilla
well.
needs
So.
to like.
yeah.
I would say this one needs to end at 45 meters.
yeah, I'd say
If-
ending at 45 would make more sense. Like honestly, I'd say like I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'd say like where my monster's at his height should be where Godzilla starts at if you want to still keep him a giant monster. Because like I done like calculations and stuff for like how big my monster's head would be if it's like hunting humans. And at that height, you're still at the range
Too
where like
big.
that thing is big, but like if there's like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people running away, then it's scooping a lot of them up in like one bite.
Yeah. I
How big was
might
the
like
Odo
lower the
Island Godzilla
size.
from minus
I do have some
one?
monsters
Odo
here I
Island
would like to
Godzilla is
share, but
like
discuss.
15,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
I might.
Yes.
Yeah, I
so-
might go like either 15 or 30 because I was again this version of Godzilla. At least the initial part was supposed to be kind of like a Godzillasaurus, but still mutated.
Yeah. So like
I-
18 is
start off
here,
at around,
16 is here. So like 15 is like here.
Yeah, so like start off at around 10, 15, and then once the napalm bombings drop and mutate them, then like 30, 45.
Yeah, 15 I
Oh,
would say is like a pretty good starting point then.
Yeah.
Another thing I forgot to mention though is like after the fire bombings, Godzilla no longer becomes a man eater, although he still has that compulsion to like eat,
Yeah.
kind of like muscle memory. But he will stop being a man eater by that point because then like he's already energized by the napalm. He doesn't like he already has enough calories as it is, like absorbing the energy of the napalm
Maybe,
and the
maybe you could
chemicals.
have it. Maybe
He's
you
like
could
doing it for
have
the love of the
that
game.
Maybe you could have it that he tries to eat a human after the napalm bombings, but the human just gets away, and he realizes this isn't going to work out. I need something else. Then he goes after a whale, but it's like, but the energy he gets from that is too much, and then he realizes, oh, I'm already self-energizing. It's basically photosynthesis.
Yeah, or I could just make him. I was debating between doing that or just making him like actively go after like either napalm or radiation sources, either one, which gives him like two different sources of energy, which I think would make him even more deadly. Because now he has options.
Radiation fits more like with the public consciousness of Godzilla, but I feel like if you go with napalm, that just makes him more unique.
No,
Yeah.
actually, one thing that'll be interesting is that because obviously you're introducing Godzilla into the story, you could really go into like the alt history aspect of it. And like if you want him attacking American forces, having Americans embedded in Vietnam with like Davy Crockett's could be an interesting angle to the story, because then you have miniature nukes all around Vietnam on top of like napalm and other kinds of weapons of war.
I would like to ask why the choice of napalm? Because like isn't napalm like a really flammable liquid, like a very toxic flammable liquid?
You gonna take a picture and get me out there?
You know, good enough.
Yeah,
That's Black Swiss Box.
The reason I chose Napalm is because number one, because this is a story that takes place during the Vietnam War. I thought it was like, you know, I thought it made sense, but
Mhm.
also just because of the fact that because this is already a mutated Godzilla, which is like the size of a Godzillasaurus, he's probably going to be able to digest it better since he's already survived um nuclear holocaust by that point.
But how
So
would he be mutated from napalm? That's what I'm asking.
afterwards, I'm actually workshopping that
Mhm.
because I know that there are certain chemicals. Because there's this if you
Yeah.
look at pictures of people that suffer the after effects of napalm, the chemicals of napalm, it is just like gnarly. Like it's I would argue it's even more disturbing than the
Then radiation.
radiation,
What
yeah,
about like
of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
or something like mustard gas too? Because they use mustard gas
That
a lot.
that and mustard gas.
Or
I don't
actually,
know
if
if I
anything,
ordered.
maybe having it that the petrochemicals that make up napalm have a weird interaction with its cells, and as a result, that's what spurs on the mutation. And then using the like drinking more of the petrochemicals that make up napalm allow Godzilla to keep on living. So then Godzilla actively has a reason to go after these targets.
Yeah.
And as a result, how much of that chemical Godzilla has ingested will also adjust like how much of his atomic breath you can use. So if you're writing the story, the audience member has to think to
Yeah.
himself as well as the characters have to think, well, Godzilla has like drank this much like napalm or is able to synthesize petrochemicals from other places. So you have some kind of ambiguity as to how much atomic breath usage Godzilla has.
Yeah. So and also like not just the usage but also the power that comes from the beam. If you want to have like either the vomit or the spinning cobra concept, it's like having like maybe if he has an overflow of the napalm chemical, the atomic breath is significantly brighter, significantly hotter, and significantly more damaging. Like I'm just imagining during a climactic sequence, he drinks or eats too much of the chemical, and it gets to the point where he's just constantly blasting it, and it's just brighter than we've seen it before. It's nearly blinding to look at.
That could
Because it
potentially be
reminds me
how he
visually
dies,
of
um,
how the
but
dragon from Damsel spews fire. It's like a mixture
I
of
was
liquid
thinking that.
lava and stuff
Yeah, I
like
was
that.
thinking that. Yeah, because Damsel, the fire effects of Damsel, I thought the dragon effects, the effects for the dragon for that movie were great. If only the movie was good.
I haven't
Unfortunately,
seen it.
it's really bad.
Yeah, I heard it's
But
mid.
it's worse than
I
mid. It's
really
so much
liked it.
worse than mid. Of course you did, Vic. It's okay to be wrong. Anyway, so the VFX of the dragon vomiting fire, it basically vomits fire. It's basically like
Mhm.
liquid at that point. It's like flammable. I
Yeah.
like that. So that's kind of like what I was going with the
Yeah.
atomic breath in this case, or like the atomic
Okay.
vomit.
Yeah, because my
Sort of.
my first thought was the monstrous nightmare from How to Train Your Dragon, specifically like if you remember the opening when it tries to breathe fire, it's stoic, but it only has like small sparks come out, something like that.
I was thinking more
Yeah.
like, remember that artwork from that Godzilla Splinter project that one artist was doing?
Oh shit!
Yeah, like I remember that one artwork where like he does the atomic breath, but like there's like constant like shit flying off of it all over the place. Like it's like like a oil on a pan.
Hmm.
Something like
Yeah, I
that.
was also thinking of the atomic breath from 2014 as well, which is inspired by napalm as well, from what I hear.
Yeah,
So
Hmm.
that
and
one was another
that is
like
my favorite atomic breath design. Just in general, it's such a cool beam.
yeah. But overall, like the themes of the story, I haven't narrowed down the themes just yet because I mainly just have a beginning, a middle, and end. And I'm still workshopping the I'm still workshopping like the actual structure because I haven't finished the outline yet. But overall, like at least the main protagonist, he's basically just Animal Mother from Full Metal Jacket if he had photographic memory. And so far, like, if you've seen Full Metal Jacket, you already know what Animal Mother is all about.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
basically that. But it's supposed to take like a really tragic turn at some point. I actually made a couple of tracks for the story. In fact, like some concept tracks.
Mhm.
I know Zim has listened to some of it, but yeah, it's overall it's I'm trying to the goal of the story here, at least this Godzilla, is to recontextualize him instead of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I'm trying to recontextualize him by using the Vietnam War instead of World War II. Something more
Mhm.
recent. Um, and then from then on, like I could either just do what you suggested and have the him constantly spewing his atomic vomit, and that's what ends up killing him, or you know completely ditching that idea and just
Yeah.
turn it into
Like,
like a universe.
yeah. If you wanted to end it there, my suggestion, if you wanted to kill him, was like he has gotten to the point where he eats too much, basically have a repeat of the first half of the Red Death sequence, and then he just like as he's suffocating himself, um, and the military is trying to contain the situation. Like he's basically burning himself from the inside.
Yeah. And also just well, then again, though, because I know that the story's supposed to end, because I already know how I want it to end, sort of.
Mhm.
At least this first story, because I do plan on making more, but this first story is supposed to end on a really like dour, upsetting ending. But that's why I made it a character focused story, because I want you to hate me by the time I'm done with this story, because I want you to like get attached to the characters. I'm taking a lot of inspirations from the Penguin. So if you know anything about Oz and Vic's relationship,
Mhm.
um, if you've seen that show and you know about their relationship, then yeah, you're probably
Vic,
gonna
I
see
didn't know
that
you were
show.
in the Penguin.
I never heard of that show in my life.
You haven't seen the Penguin,
No.
dude? You need to watch it.
I've been
It's
meaning to watch
Yeah,
it.
you
like
see, you say that, but I have like a bunch of other shit I gotta watch too. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, no, real.
it's only like it's
But
8
yeah.
episodes.
Also,
Like
Rooney,
it's
I do
eight
recommend.
Dude,
episodes.
yeah, but I gotta watch Dan to Dan and JoJo's. Okay? And I think those take
Really,
higher priority on my list. Especially JoJo's.
JoJo.
Okay,
Look,
Personally,
man,
JoJo.
but
they
also,
just
Rooney,
announced part 7, okay? I gotta catch up.
It's fair
yeah.
enough. If you've
But
already been
Rooney,
watching it, catching
if
up is
you
fair
want some
enough.
more inspiration for like the stylistic aspect and maybe for how this Godzilla could act, I'd recommend you watch Primitive War, like highly. Also, it's a film that looks right up
Or
your alley.
no, actually, no. I wouldn't say watch Primitive War. I'd say read Primitive War.
Or both.
I would
'Cause
say
that's-
just look a lot of the artwork for that was used for the Primitive War book. Because I think a lot of it would be
I
pretty
still need
solid.
to
But no,
read.
because it's less the art that I'm more concerned about, and more like the act, like how they actually deal with it. Because like if I was to say like, unfortunately, I can't really think of any other Vietnam War. Actually, no, I can. But if I was to say like out of my top 3 favorite Vietnam War things, Primitive War actually trumps Full Metal Jacket in my opinion. With Apocalypse Now and First Blood being like my 3 favorite Vietnam War things.
No, just look at footage of Malevolent Creek.
Malevolent Creek. I haven't lived long enough through Malevolent Creek, but I've lived long enough to go to Oshan. Dude, Oshan is hell.
Trust
I got
me,
to kill a sandworm, actually.
I killed one of those bastards.
I felt like Paul
God.
Atreides riding the sandworm. I felt
I
like
felt like
I was killing Shai Hulud.
I felt like it was Moby Dick all over again. Curse or like
I was
Vale.
I could hear my teammates cheering like Lisan al Gaib, Lisan al Gaib. He who controls the super credits controls the universe.
You know what? That's real. I do have my own monsters because I've been workshopping it for ever now.
Yeah, we can probably put yours in and make yours the last one for the night.
So,
I can
also,
pull
Dan,
yours from what's it called? You DM'd me, so I can.
Yeah, I
take
sent
yours
you.
right there.
Yeah, I have a couple others like I said to throw in too.
Before we finish after Potato shares his stuff, I want to share the commissions I got of Neas just to like add on to my thing.
Yeah, just put it in the stream submissions.
Will do.
This baby, I'm nice.
There we go. Perfect.
Okay, so the basic idea is it's
Jesus
a comedy.
Christ.
Yeah, this is Jack the Ripper. I like to call him. It's a workshop name, but I think it's the most appropriate name for what his role is and what he does.
What
the
is
key
this butt fuck? What is that?
It's a really old, really nasty DNA virus from long ago that a poor dude got infected with. It doesn't matter how he got it; he just got it, and out of pure dumb luck. And his he died. It was not a pretty death. He slowly but surely kept forgetting things and kept getting hungrier and hungrier as he kept forgetting until he died. Mm-hmm. And then when he was buried, he came back, quote unquote. Out. Yeah, let me just skip the semantics. It's an alien DNA virus that infected the guy. It's the whole idea is like a cross of World War Z, a bit of like a sci-fi horror, like say primarily Dead Space and some kaiju influence as well.
The concept for this virus makes me think of the frenzy virus from Monster Hunter.
That was part of the. That was not my intention, but that's a good correlation.
Also, Zim, I apologize if apparently any audio on mine is making things dark because I know I keep being muted for whatever reason.
No, it's
yeah.
good.
There's just a bit of background audio. That's why I keep muting you. So don't worry.
Yeah.
All right. I was like, oh, is it that bad?
We'll just we'll hear things here and there, so that's why I do it. So don't worry.
I see.
How do I introduce it? Because I don't want to go off just rambling randomly.
So like in the video that we covered, the three things that he said make a good monster are creativity, style, and then meaning. So I'd say use those as like your kind of baseline.
Okay, so let's go with purpose then. The part of the concept is inspired by concepts like dementia, grief. Well, grief. What I want to explore grief. It's not like grief itself. It's the apathy from a third party I want to explore. Like someone you know is like grieving heavily for someone, but you can't sympathize or relate to that grief because you never knew the person, or you never were close to the person. I think that's what I would want to explore. There's this horrible event, but like you just can't feel anything for it because you simply have no context for it.
Because all is to help the people who do.
Yeah, that's part of the idea. Part of it is just a general tragic story of someone who really misses a brother, and got reunited in the worst way possible. The design inspiration came from. You ever heard of The Isle, that dinosaur game?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. I primarily based my inspiration off of old concept art for the dinosaur strains and stuff from the artist Tapwing. Not him particularly, but certain other creations that are related in later on in the world. And what I primarily focus on like the kind of like gnarly, like grotesque aspects of it. I want to lean more into that like Dead Space sort of hardcoreness, where like it is visceral and gnarly, and like you see that shit and like outside your house, and you're just like praying to God. That kind of feeling. And there's another one there of like the spiky thing. Can you bring that one up? I think that one's
Is the one
equally
you
important.
is it the one you just shared, or is it a
Another one. It's the oh no, I didn't send it to you. Hold on, let me go grab that one real quick. Because that one is arguably more important to the narrative.
okay? There we go.
Because I don't remember where I heard it, but I remember hearing the concept of telling the story of a zombie victim from the perspective of the person as they are being infected. And that sounds like an ingenious concept and horrifying. So that's what the story is primarily about. A man grieving over his brother's death, and when he sees him again, he gets infected, and slowly his life falls apart. Or as his grief is twisted into this.
Mm.
This and it ends with now with the a big climax halfway through is him literally eating his son's face and brain. And a poor cop who ends up accidentally finding him. I'll save you the details on that.
Mm.
Any questions? Because I feel like I'm like not as organized.
No, you're
Yes,
good.
I have a
I-
question.
No,
I have
you're
a question for you. I have a
Shoot.
question for you. Um, what demon possessed you to make this?
Uh, well, you see, I really like Dead Space 2. That's my demon.
Okay, that makes sense.
I thought that game was hardcore, and I really wanted to replicate that feeling.
You definitely did.
I forgot how much I really liked these designs of yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can send the who the artists were because these are done by I commissioned like 3 different artists to help with these.
I know.
Yeah.
I,
I
your
think I've
stuff's
also seen
always
some of
as
your
good.
other work in the other videos. So I think it's your artwork, right? That was in the corner of the last one.
Yeah, that was my artwork in the last corner, but that was all I'm trying to get better at art. Primarily idea for this one was a rose originally, but I realized that I can repurpose it because now the idea why it's how so many spines is like it's like your body hair literally like making more body hair than that hair like coming together and hardening into like sharp spines.
Mm.
And it is sharp like this because to make it as like contagious as possible. You as since you're getting hit since it a lot of the symptoms are similar to dementia, you're sort of regressing a lot, and that's purposeful because if you make it something too efficient at killing, you kind of miss the entire point of a virus, which is the spread. So
If you've played Plague Inc., you would. Yeah, I played
yeah,
Plague Inc. I would know. Yeah, if you spread the virus too quickly, you never get to Greenland, and the virus dies out. And yeah,
yeah, exactly. That's why the story takes place over the course of a week. It's his slow, gradual losing his mind thing over trying to hunt down something he thinks took it, desecrated his brother's grave, and the wife and the kid have to like trying to support him, but like they aren't really like emotionally invested because they never knew the guy. He was just someone they knew.
yeah, that's. I'm still taken aback by the designs, though. Like they look gnarly. They look like
Thank you.
they belong on Elden Ring.
I have given the courtesy enough to phase 2, phase 3.
Yeah. The main story is mostly just evolve around those two. The man trying to hunt down the monster as he becomes a monster, and halfway through, after everything happens, because like this is meant to be located in like a small town, somewhere isolated, because you don't want like too many cops and stuff getting in the way of the mass carnage, you know.
Yeah,
No, that
that's,
kind.
that's exactly kind of what I wanted to do for my own story as well.
Yeah. Like have like a big like set pieces like like basically nearly everyone becoming a monster after he gets into town, and I had this whole concept for like a weakness, at least for people who just became infected. I've read that dementia patients, some of the last things they remember, like the last things their brains is think of in their vegetative state, is like a melody from like a song they like. So an idea is like it all happened like during like a big rock concert that's like important in town. So kind of like a scene from like Alan Wake, where like they use music to like cause these animals to kind of stay motionless, sway slowly side to side as they slowly hum that tune. The last remnants of who they were. They're trying to cling on to something as they are all shot in the head by a nail gun. Well, and so
If this ever was made into a movie, the soundtrack should just be everywhere at the end of time.
no, I will do the that one song "Control" from the game Control. No, yeah, take
Yeah,
control.
but dementia. You said dementia, so everything at everywhere at the end of time makes sense.
You're right, but I like that song more. I'm not gonna deny it. I just like that song more.
Fair. It's kind of somber. That entire album as well. I tried
Yeah.
listening to the whole thing. I felt terrible.
Yeah, I listened to a little bit of everywhere. I think it was everywhere at the end of time, a little bit as an inspiration, and yeah, it's rough.
Honestly, dude, I just felt like that track made me. That entire album made me think dementia was contagious.
There's one more image I would like to bring up, if you mind, the one with the fire.
Yeah.
Because like that's the like penultimate like climax. Because this would be like it.
The one with the guy running.
Yeah, no, that's the wife. Actually, that's the wife.
Women.
I know, right? Crazy.
No, girls. Oh,
This whole story will be written in perspective from either the son or the wife, because I want the audience to feel like the same apathy the characters feel for this whole situation.
Oh, so the woman's perfect.
Then, I've seen this art.
Yeah. This is the final. After handling most of the infected in town, the rest are either comatose. The husband, who is now a monster, grows bigger after eating more and more biomass, and the song and music no longer works on it because there's too many memories, too many brains inside. So all music does is piss it off.
Honestly, this sounds like a great premise for an indie game.
Yeah.
Honestly, it probably does.
Heck, I'd put it as like a AAA game. This would be insane.
I think indie
I'm
game
just
has a lot more,
imagining
like,
this as
creative
like
freedom.
a Congo 5 style game where like you play as the wife for most of the story, and then for like boss fights and specific sequences, you get to play as the husband monster.
I was thinking of Carry On. I don't know if you guys
I mean,
played
that
Carry
works
On.
Yeah,
too.
I was thinking Dead Space. That was primarily my thought process. Because
in Carry On, they let you play the monster.
Congo 5 meets Carrion meets Dead Space.
Yeah, because Carry On has a monster that's like very similar to this as well. Carry On has a very similar monster to this, where like it eats biomass. So it fits the bill. So like I think it could be like a very good indie game. I think a story for an indie game.
Yeah.
The next Five Nights at Freddy's, if it was good.
Hell yeah! What do you mean? That's the story of creation.
Wasn't
Five Nights.
okay.
The story of
Okay, but
creation
like,
is
Okay,
Five
okay,
Nights.
I
we're
was
getting
standing by the original FNAF game, like the first one.
okay, okay. We're
being
getting a bit off topic here. Let's get
Okay.
back on topic a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
This is
this is great. This is great. This kind of ticks every box that he had. Holy shit.
yeah. This is something I've been thinking about from I think since middle school. And it's just like one of those things where it's like the more I thought about it, the more I was like, damn, I can make this something good. I think
Middle
go ahead.
school.
Yeah.
You said middle school. I heard that correctly. You said middle
Yeah.
school.
Yeah. Cause like Jack is at least I made him back in middle school because I saw a concept art for the Mega Raptor from the aisle and I thought that's the most coolest thing I've ever fucking seen in my life. I need to make something like that. And then that's kind of just where it started. And it just kept got growing and growing as I got older, like start understanding what I wanted out of this. I realized what I could do with it. And for this scene here, this is again the finale where he's dealing with where she's forced to face her husband. It ends up with a forest fire as him trying to use like gasoline to try to kill it with fire. It doesn't work, but it ends up with it spraying fire everywhere because as it tries to use its basically his stomach as a weapon. But as she's up against a tree after she's getting flung by the thing. She thought she's dead, but then out of nowhere, like a bat out of hell, the thing that started this whole nightmare comes burling in. And the brothers have their final reunion. In a visceral clash of gnashing teeth, of rigged, broken claws, screaming, biting. Thing is a nasty mess as the floor comes crashing down around them. And ends with Jack ripping his brother's head off and reuniting them together once again.
Yeah, that's what I would do if I found my brother. Yeah, I'd just rip his head off. Yeah, I'd do the same thing.
Yeah, he doesn't die. He doesn't die, by the way. He perfectly survives it because a big thing these creatures have as an advantage is that they are really hard to kill. They heal good. You legit have to destroy the brain, or they'll heal most things that kill them, because the brain is basically signals and patterns. As long as that's still intact, they will come. Their regenerative cells will just keep healing them and they'll keep doing what they're doing. But if you destroy the brain, it's basically like terminal, basically vegetizes them, and they just stop moving because they really can't process information anymore. And it's also why they go for the brain to basically assimilate all the information that they have, copying the patterns that are basically memories and all that kind of stuff.
I'm floored.
I only have one question for you, my good sir.
Go crazy.
Did something happen to you in middle school? Did you go through some trauma or something that you've internalized and has manifested itself into this? Because what the fuck?
Probably, I don't know. But
okay, I don't believe you.
Yeah, me neither. This is very, very, very hyper specific. Jesus.
This is very personal, I think.
This
yeah,
it's weird because
there's definitely. I won't deny. There's definitely the
it's
theme
very weird because I was talking to a friend of mine who I talk to this guy a lot, and he was just talking about how he has a very deep and intimate fear of dementia and Alzheimer's. So this feels very topical right now, given the conversation I had with him.
There we go.
I'm genuine. Like, but see, that's the thing. That's the best kinds of artists. The best artists will always use some form of trauma,
or personal struggle to deal with. Like,
yeah. You see in Dune, for example, you see that Paul Atreides is a very not good father, and that's basically because Frank Herbert was also not a very good father.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Guillermo del Toro uses a lot of his own personal experiences in his films, and we're going to be talking about that on the 9th. So,
Yeah, just write what you know.
yeah.
As a
And
wise
this
man
is
once said,
absolutely what you know. Holy fuck!
as a wise man once said, good art is meant to make the comfortable feel discomfort and comfort the uncomfortable.
I feel both uncomfortable, but that's and comfortable. I think I'm uncomfortable right now because I'm sitting in a very awkward position. So
Then yeah, you should probably fix that. Currently, the problem I'm trying to face is how I would pace this, because I already have a very specific idea for how this like the beginning, certain sections, the middle half, and the ending. But I want to try to figure out how I would pace like his gradual decline, because I want it to be pace enough to have it happen around like the halfway mark, a little past the halfway mark, but still have time for the finale, where everyone becoming monsters, the confrontation with Jack. Because there are some other things I left out, like when the infestation is running rampant in town. Some people are trying to leave, and Jack is taking advantage of that, and it's basically like picking off anyone who's trying to escape the town. And I wanted to reveal that through because like they have because this family has two kids. One of them, the first one, gets eaten by the father, but the other one escapes town with a friend. And I'm not. I want the idea of like Jack. He when the friend realizes what happened, Jack literally comes crashing in, punches the truck over. And I want to try to figure out how I could do all that, and yet not have it be too feel paced right.
Yeah, that might be something that you could work out, like if you had that as a document, and then like we could see like how long each supposed chapter might be, because that could probably help in terms
Yeah.
of building up the pacing.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, I do have ideas for sequels and stuff. I haven't really fleshed it out as much, but the sequel will be like, because I want it to be like a semi anthology esque story with connective tissue being monsters and elements that are connecting them in a broader world.
So
The
that's
sequel,
the World War Z inspiration, because World War Z is actually pretty similar.
yeah, exactly.
The book,
Yeah,
I mean, not the movie.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah, no,
know the book.
I was pretty sure you were drawing from the book, because like nobody mentions World War Z as an inspiration and says the movie.
The movie. Yeah, the concept for the sequel is like a what was it called? Those squid hunting ships, like those Chinese squid big cargo vessels that bring up fish.
Yeah, or like
Because
crab hunting.
Games.
No, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Never bring that up again.
I've played these games before.
I forgot what it was called. With these specific, because I remember reading a specific incident. I forgot what it was. It was about from like a specific boat, specific cargo ship, where everyone kind of lost it after because if you're not familiar, squid trading people who work in that industry get fucked royally, like nastily. Like they get in this. I forgot the exact specifics of the contract, but the contract says that like they'll get paid this like certain set amount, but as long as they don't do anything. But if they do, then they have to pay by how many squid they get, and it will be like nowhere near the amount they did from just literally doing nothing. And everyone on board realizes that halfway that they got fucked over, and they all want to leave, but they can't. And it just kind of devolves because everyone is mad and tired and stressed and envious of one another because of money and all this stuff. And I thought that would be a really interesting concept to explore something similar. Like imagine like they accidentally bump into this massive these spires of bone, quote unquote, jutting out, and it infects all the squid and food, and like half the crew is slowly losing their mind without even realizing it. You can, Mr.
Can I ask you a question, real quick?
Go right ahead. Go on.
Is your last name Lovecraft by any chance?
I'll do one more
Because
question, and then we'll probably wrap it up.
that's just like that's a Lovecraft book.
I
You're
don't
writing
think
a Lovecraft story.
I think we should probably start wrapping this up. Well, first commission.
Yeah. I think I'll save the commissions for the next stream because I'm gonna want to do something new for the starts of streams and have people send art in as part of the stream submissions to present before I start videos. Yeah.
Cool.
I just want to say the amount of stuff you know genuinely scares me.
I'm sorry?
The amount of stuff you know genuinely scares me. I admire it, but it also just like Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah,
you're making us look bad.
Yeah, I keep like a bunch of inspirations for thing I find interesting in like on a.
Do you have just like a page or a document or a straight up binder listing everything that inspires you?
I have like a folder full of different inspirations and stuff. And like there's like a lot of things I just remember because it just sounds really interesting to me, and like I remember a lot of things I'm interested in really well.
Okay.
Oh.
But yeah,
so you got like the perfect version of autism that we all pretend to have. Okay, so you're like better than.
I mean, I've met several people like that before. Hell, three of my teachers are like that. But
bro is literally me.
Can you mind bring up one of the Spinosaurus concept art, because that's the concept art for what the second story will be.
Yeah, we'll have that be the last thing for the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm genuinely invested. Like, I don't know if you like finish writing everything, but like if you have, like, send that shit. I need to.
I haven't really gotten it, to writing because I'm just really busy with college and work.
Valid.
So you're telling me you have all this concept, but you don't have. You already detailed most of your world already.
This is just stuff that this is all just for my. This is just a lot of this is just stuff in my brain that's just always been in the back of my head. I can say this all off the top of my head. I'm gonna be so dead ass with you.
This brother has reached the final form of autism.
This is the tism we aspire to. Fucking hell!
This is Neptune.
Potato. I was not expecting you to be this good of a chef. What the fuck?
Is the autism the predator wanted.
I think you might be secretly a pregnant woman because you have kept delivering every single time.
Let's let Potato say this last bit and then we'll end off the stream.
Yeah, this is Neptune. He's based off of the Neurotonic Spinosaurus design.
I know what that is.
Yeah. Part of the idea is play into like the Thalassophobia, something that Godzilla -1 did a lot of. Because like imagine seeing that thing and because this thing's like thing's massive. It's around like 100 meters tall when the head is fully raised. It walks on all four on its knuckles. And his primary thing is that it just punches good, and its arms are like snapping turtles. They're lightning fast.
So like
that crab as well. That crab that punches faster than the speed of sound, I think. Or is
the mantis shrimp.
Yeah, similar. Yeah. I haven't really fleshed out that story a lot that much. All I know is that it will end with him, with the monster playing around with the boat, something exploding like a canister or something, causing it to get upset, and then punching this giant ship like 100 meters into the sky. See, as the survivors look on in awe and horror as this monster just treats a boat like a chew toy.
Dude, imagine the shockwave of that punch too. Like,
exactly.
Jesus, it's gonna deafen a lot of people.
Yeah, there's a third. I have a third idea, but it's even less fleshed out. So I don't rather not say too much and waste too much time.
Yeah,
because I gotta get going.
All that will be said, Potato. We will watch your career with great interest.
Thank you very much.
We are paying very close attention.
I'm not jealous at all. I'm not jealous. All right, I'm not.
Rudy,
I'm not envious.
Rudy, what you need to do is take his like DNA virus and eat his brain so you can assimilate it into your own insanity.
You can try. You can try. Well, I gotta get going now. Arrivederci.
There you go. Have a good one, man.
You
Peace.
take care, dude.
I'm gonna eat his brain.
Let's end
I'm
things off
just
here.
processing all of that. Holy shit!
We'll start from Black, make our way up towards Minecraft One. We'll end with myself. Do our shilling as per usual.
You can find me if you look for me. Same name, different platforms. Black Rooney on the Twitter. I spurg out on Twitter because I feel like it. A Discord might revamp it soon. I'm very selective over who gets to be on Discord, but I'm starting to revamp it a little bit. New video coming soon, hopefully before the Superman debate. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Fantastic Four video. Fantastic Four video coming soon. Another thing. The newest video involving the Batman. It's up on my Patreon. Posted it today. What else? Last thing. If I get to 500 subs, Black Screen will return. So, yeah, do that. Also, watch Space King.
Kuru, your turn.
I don't really have much to shill. I mean, I do have obviously YouTube, but I don't really post. I would like to. I have some ideas in my head, but I haven't had the time to work on them. But I guess if I ever do, just keep your eyes peeled for whatever I make. Tune in for the Superman debate where me, Minecraft, World will kick Rooney and Sea Monster's ass. After that, though, keep an eye on Zim's channel because once the Shin 4K has released, and I assume we are both given time, the Shin debate will be officially dated, where me and Gojin will have a conversation about this film and why I personally believe it to be an argument for the most overrated film in the subgenre, whereas he seems to hold it in very high regard. So just keep your eyes peeled. I tend to be pretty active around this sphere, just not on my own channel.
Vickle Dickle.
Yeah, you can find me as Kaijuna on YouTube here. I do a variety of live stream videos, things like that. I do have commissions open for OCs, kaiju, feature illustrations, things like that on my coffee page. You can find that through my Twitter or Instagram, either as your Crispy Vic or Vic's Monstrosities. Other than that, I guess a film recommendation is one that I recently watched called The Burrowers, which I think has some pretty interesting creature designs. So I'd recommend that one.
Minecraft of Worlds.
Okay. You can find me on YouTube, Minecraft World 1954. That's my or just Minecraft World. I am, as alluded to earlier, I am going to be doing a discussion stream on the movies of Guillermo del Toro on the 9th, which is his birthday, actually. So keep an eye out for that. And obviously, that's going to be the same time as Zim's stream. Well, same day, but earlier time than Zim's stream. So that should be fun. I am also on Instagram and Kara, where I have a bunch of artworks, including Nias that I shared earlier. And primarily, I haven't really been uploading active on those. I've been scrolling around and enjoying my various amounts of cat videos. But keep an eye out for future stuff. And yeah, I'm also on Blue Sky. Haven't been the most active there, but I have an account, so you can follow me there. And yeah, go watch Primitive War. It's fun. It's really fun. And watch the movies of Guillermo del Toro, or at least Pacific Rim. So, yeah.
Rest in peace, Hoshi.
Yeah. Take care, guys. Peace.
Alrighty, and you guys know where to find me. It's Zimzol99 almost anywhere. Just add an OG in front of it for Twitter. Add a YT behind it if you see me on PlayStation. I'm also on other places like Odyssey, BitChute. Trying to get the rest of the library on there. And as always, I multi-stream to both Twitch and Facebook. Other things are on DeviantArt, Instagram's where most of my postings go. And Patreon is where you'll see stuff like extra videos, chapter segments for Kaiju Quarantine, my book. So becoming a patron helps just keep the channel going, become a greater focus, as well as it also supports the production of the book, along with things like TeePublic, where I do have 2 new shirt designs that are Zoga related. I'll also have some shirts in the future for Kaiju Quarantine. We'll see where that goes, along with still wanting to come up with a caption for this shirt here. I'll probably put in a poll next week for that. But I thank always my guests for coming on. They make things like this happen. And yeah, thank you as always, guys. Have a good one.
Sayonara.
Always remember.
Praise be to Space King.
Semper Fi, motherfucker.
Get that out there.